bad numbers.
Hey, welcome to Cleveland Moto Podcast, episode 509. Light them up, boys! Get it quick while it's there. Nice, a nice iced tea. Loving it. So good. We're all, kind of everybody rode here tonight, except for, the guy who lives here, right?
Well,
he didn't have to ride.
He walked. You were supposed to drive.
Yep.
And pick up a broken bike.
Too nice.
And yeah,
I'm going to do that tomorrow when I'm picking up bikes.
It's allowable.
Yeah. Tomorrow when it's raining and I'm picking up bikes.
My landlord's really starting to yell about the bikes in the garage, though.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Jerk.
Yep. Yeah, I don't begrudge anybody for shirking their duties and going out and riding motorcycles
today.
today.
A beautiful, for the first time, it wasn't 1,000,000 degrees.
Yeah.
It wasn't 1,000,000 degrees in the sun, and it wasn't pouring down the rain for 5 minutes.
It actually was beautiful.
So.
Momentarily, it was gorgeous.
I still talk about the lineup.
So we had a hell of a lineup today. Quite the lineup. The funny thing was when I pulled in, already there was a Harley Springer, and already there was a Sexual Intruder 800.
Right.
When I pulled up, and it was funny because I had heard you pop by the shop while I was in the bathroom. And then when I finally jumped on my bike, I saw Pete pulling down the road in his Hunter Cub. So to my immediately left today.
It's easy for you to say.
It's so easy for me to say.
Dan McCrumpke.
Dan McCrumpke.
So the Scottish Games British bike and car ride-in was this past Saturday.
That was
really awesome, but we have fewer bikes every year.
Yeah.
I would like to see some more people come out and show up for this thing.
Yeah, we used to
anybody
do that.
with British bikes who wants to participate.
I was going to say, I don't have an Irish bike, so.
Do you still have that Triumph?
I have two Triumphs still.
Did you drive it out there? Ride it out there?
I rode my modern Triumph.
How are you not taking the world's greatest vintage Triumph out ever?
Tell you what, dude.
He likes riding.
All the little kids. Their parents look at the old bikes. The little kids like my bike. So we got something there for the kids to bring them over with their parents.
Hey Phil.
I'm usually aiming for the moms anyway.
Hey, Phil, how do you feel about kickstarting that Tiger?
Yeah, it's not really great, man. It's kind of a fucking non-starter most of the time.
Yeah, and I had to help a guy put a BSA up on the center stand. That's like a 2 to 3 man job. There is no leverage.
I saw a BSA bobber in Olmsted Falls on the way up here today.
Oh,
it was a sharp-looking bike.
I used to participate in the Scottish Games ride and the Scottish Games Motorcycle Guild. I have my patch, and it was always we'd go get breakfast, right? Go to that guy's house and get some breakfast,
some fresh haggis.
So it's not out there anymore. It's at the Berea Fairgrounds.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's like a 5-minute ride from the Metro Parks when we ride in.
Really?
Yeah, that's the kind of sad part.
I saw Sean the Falconer.
I was going to say Sean was out there. Yeah, he was posting photos.
Yep, they were. It was funny because Mike Polk, our local celebrity, we're still not Detroit, the founder of Cleveland, where you can buy that.
Sadness.
Yes, where you can buy the house for the price of a VCR. That he was there, and I got to see him holding the very same falcon that we were holding.
Yay.
The very same bird. With a very hooked beak. Yeah.
Somehow I missed him. I did not know he was there until I saw it on Facebook today.
Yep. Yeah, he was there. He was having a good old time.
I saw him on the news earlier this week.
Yeah, I posted it up on social media. Their friend Sean O'Hara there with the hawks, with the birds. They had quite a few birds there. It's really neat. So yeah, but it's been a minute since I've been to the Scottish Games, and that's a shame because it is a lot of fun. At least it wasn't super duper balls hot.
Yeah, we did get a little downpour, but it was over in 20, 30 minutes, no big deal.
I think everybody got a little downpour. We had a gentleman who was bringing in a Moto Guzzi 85 TT to trade. He'd gotten the bike all perfectly cleaned up because he wanted to make a good impression. And he left his home, I think in Stowe, Kent region or whatever, was motoring towards the shop and got in a pop-up, Typhoon or whatever. He's like, fuck it, I had to pull under a bridge, everything. And he goes, I was wearing a perf jacket. I was perforated jacket, mesh, like a mesh Joe Rocket jacket. And he's like, and that is the wrong thing to be wearing in a torrential downpour. He's like, I got so pissed off, turned around, went home and had to change all my gear, re-clean the bike again. I was like, well, that was very nice of you. You didn't have to do that. But yeah, then he came in. Very funny situation, though. He traded in a 2021 V85 TT Travel for a 2025 V85 TT Travel. Same color and everything.
Absolutely.
Same deal. The difference is 11,000 miles.
Well, no, you pointed out a bunch of differences between the two.
Oh, speaking of torrential downpours and typhoons, Bruce checked in on the Lake Erie Loop. And he reports that he was riding and he saw a couple trees off to his right, and he swears he saw a funnel cloud at one point. And so as he was riding through a tornado somewhere south down towards Columbus, he was watching the branches get torn off of a tree, and as he went by, one of the large branches fell right in front of him. No time to brake, and he drove right through it and over it, tearing pieces off on his bike, managed to stay upright. And so, yes, as in true form, Bruce had a very exciting Lake Erie Loop.
He never gets away with it, and has just a normal Lake Erie Loop. He's definitely a magnet for adversity. Was he on the Ascot?
He was riding his Honda Ascot, which has a nice telescope. The fork on the Ascot's actually kind of off-roady. I think it's from an XL 500 or something.
There you go.
So that's probably what saved him. The GS, the BMW rider, pussied out, didn't go through the branch, went around it, slowed down. A little disappointed by that. I mean, he blazed the way. I don't know why he didn't just follow him.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was say his ass got caught in a storm.
His
Ascot did get caught in a storm.
And then to give the roll call, just so let everyone know who's in the show tonight. Yeah. So to my immediately left,
Dan Kremke.
And what did you ride tonight, Dan?
76 BMW R90/6.
In a fetching color of alpine white, right? To your left,
Steve Sleepy.
What did you ride tonight?
A Harley machine.
What year is it?
2005, I believe.
Yeah, and what model of Harley machine is that?
A Springer.
It is a Springer.
A Heritage Springer.
A Heritage Springer with flames.
Yeah.
I love the sparkle gummy stuff all over it.
Flambe.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll get the ankle monitor off after the show.
That bike has 3 ex-wives and a fucking couple of kids.
It does, yeah, right. It doesn't take much. It gets payroll deduction.
It still thinks the stripper loves it.
Yep.
It's a real dog. It's a Heritage Springer Spaniel.
Heritage Springer Spaniel.
You know what though? Since it started chewing Zen, it's been a lot better.
And to his left tonight,
Johnny Mac.
And what did you ride tonight?
The Anal Intruder Alert.
How many cc's is that one?
800s.
800. What year is that? What's the
19 in the year of our Lord 1995.
There you go. Just very like that bike right now. That's a 30-year-old machine.
Yeah, it is. I put a vintage blade on it.
Yeah,
Sleepy took it for a ride. He said it's the best bike he's ever ridden.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
I thought I was going to die in the first 2 seconds because it feels like you're sitting on top of a pommel horse or something. And then the handlebars are weird. But I swear to John wasn't kidding, man. Like after about 30 seconds, you're like, oh, okay. And then you make your first turn, and it's completely different than any other motorcycle you've ever turned.
Yeah.
You kind of got to lean, and then your arms do something, but I can't define what they do. And then you turn.
You have to go further than you want to.
Right.
Yeah. But the weird part is after a minute or so, it felt kind of normal, and then it was just a bike. Yeah. But you know what? To his credit, he said it's poppy, right?
Yeah.
And so I was in second gear, and I was moving along, and I kind of popped it. And I think both wheels came off the ground.
Because there's so much, because that's a shaft drive bike. Yeah. And there's so much shaft jacking on that bike.
Oh, yeah.
It is the king of shaft jacking.
It loves jacking.
It's just jacking all the time.
But it's a fun bike. Yeah, it's 100% fun bike, man.
Absolutely. And to his left?
Speedy Pete.
And Pete, what did you ride tonight?
A Hunter Cub, 125.
An extremely modified Hunter Cub.
Yes, with the world's largest top box. It's like a giant Pelican case.
It is a large Pelican case. Yeah. There are BMW GSs that are jealous of that Pelican case.
I think so.
Yeah, that's it. And then to his left,
Chris Smith.
What'd you ride tonight, Chris Smith?
I rode a Suzuki GS 450E.
You're representing the truly old
1981.
School. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So what did we have? We had like
original owner.
That is the original owner. So we had like 2, 4. I think we had 6 carburetors tonight. Yeah, I think that was our carburetor count tonight. Are we selling AMSOIL? No, we just have a sticker at the top of the screen. It's pretty funny.
That's the funny part. Whenever you get an AMSOIL anything, they give you giant stickers. Mm-hmm. And so AMSOIL stickers are all over the place. Actually, Pete,
Absolutely.
Weren't you telling me you were a rep for AMSOIL?
That was MotoHop checking in. I haven't had a chance to listen. I know they dropped episode 29. Haven't listened to it yet.
And MotoHop, we did put the links up. MotoHop has a T-shirt just for AMA Vintage Days that is a actual map of the grounds of AMA Vintage Days, and it gives attention to Captain's Corner and to where the barrel racing is and all that good shit.
And FEMA camp.
And the FEMA camp.
Now, gives us our props.
I'm a little sad that there was no come and take it flag or something in our spot or whatever we had last year.
Now I'm going to give away a little bit of a tip. If you have a Sharpie and you X where your tent or camping site is, when you get blind, stinking, passed out, drunk, and you're over in the pits or some weird crazy shit, they'll know where to return you. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Well, you
wear the shirt and you X marks the spot.
Well, because it's a black colored shirt like a chalkboard.
Yeah.
So what you do is get chalk and just use white chalk. Put a little circle there, or maybe one of those adhesive stars like you got when you were a kid. You just get on your paper.
The white grease pencil.
Oh, no. I know.
White crayon.
I only know this because of my child. But we went to a summer camp and they make
puff paint.
They make material. No, they make material sticker dots.
Oh, perfect.
So you could write on with the material pen and then put okay.
Seems like a great idea.
So that seems complicated.
So you should
what could possibly go wrong?
You should buy a shirt and then mark down where you are, and then when you can't figure out where you're going, there you are.
And
please return to campsite number.
Right.
Exactly.
And those are
I'm on it.
Are MotoHop. Those are on their Etsy. So if you're looking for MotoHop AMA Vintage Days T-shirts, that's where you want to go. And I'm going to throw it up real quick so we can give them a super.
They also said episode 30 also dropped, so I got to catch up.
Oh, excellent.
And for the record, Tom Pennington and I didn't write shit. So
there you go. Yeah, he's behind the bar.
It seems that every year at Mid-Ohio, somebody has to be chaperoned towards at least out of sight, towards their campground.
Oh, yeah.
The wounded sailors come from the burnout pit. Pushing usually a blown up bike and, man, I just gotta get to my room. I'm going to my site. This is so good. My boss is gonna be so happy I blew up this bike in the burnout pit. It was epic.
The one time
I've got the burnout board with me right now.
The one time I headed in that direction, you and Becky both went, no.
No, don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. Sleepy, you want to go ahead and throw this up for me, if you don't mind? So this is our friends MotoHop. MotoHop has got this lovely product on their Etsy store. 29 whole dollars, American dollars. We have got the Vintage Days shirt, $29, and they cover the shipping. Isn't that cool? That's neat. And it says get it by July 3rd to 11th if you order today. And you can order it in different colors. So it comes in a nice poo flavor of dark chocolate, which is the one that I should get for days. But yeah, I'm very impressed by this shirt. It is super neat. And again, as advertised, you can then pick up and you can literally point to on the shirt where the man touched you. It is brilliant. I'm such a fan.
Brilliant.
And if you send them to your friends over here at the Moto Podcast, we'll wear them for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they've got us right there. It says Captain's Corner and it says FEMA Camp. That's us. Yeah, it is rad as hell.
They even come in a nice little midriff. So
yeah, it's really neat, man. I'm digging it. The very fucking cool. We've got some really fun news in the way of our Patreon members. Our Patreon members are blowing me away. Nathan Roundtree just came in at the $10 level, so he gets the punchlines. Yeah, very fucking cool. Super neat. Very, very happy to have you on board. Really, really cool. We've had a lot of cool feedback, a lot of good information from our Patreon members. It is badass when people sign up. I dig it. I really do. We have also had a lot of interaction from people on our YouTube channel, and including Kurt. I'm going to say Rahoa, but that's not. But anyway, he said, "Hey, we got to have a way to alert people to let them know when it's happening." So some sort of an email thing. And so what I'm doing is, if you can sign up to be a patron, you do not need to give us any money. You can sign up at the free level. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting an alert out there. So you'll be getting a message if you're a patron. Don't have to give us any money. Just sign up. It's free. Don't cost nothing. And then we'll be putting a post up to let you guys know when those YouTube lives are going to happen.
You know what you can do too?
Yep.
Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel.
Yes.
And then the day before, we can put just a post up that says tomorrow we'll be live at 8 p.m.
Absolutely.
And that way, there's that way too.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. For us getting that stuff out there for you guys, we want you to participate. We want you to have fun because it is a fucking blast. We really do enjoy it. We don't begrudge anyone for wanting to be a part of this whole thing. We want you there too. It's pretty neat. We were danger close to 10,000, by the way. You know, I always rant and rave about, like, come on, man, what's going to take to get us over 10K? And I think we were at 9,996. I think we might have gotten there. I got to take a look and see.
This is exciting.
This is potentially exciting. I'm going to pull it up and let's see where we are. Because
if we cross 10 grand for Mid Ohio, that's going to make it extra special.
You mean, do I need to subscribe or something? Because I'd probably never have.
Well, John, let's find out.
Give me your phone.
Right.
John, come on. I'm still a Patreon member at the $10 level. I pay for my own drinks.
We need one more, John.
We are literally at 9,000. I'm shitting you not.
Dude, can you really beat a 10,000?
He can be the 10,000th.
Hold on.
Literally could be the 10,000.
Let me pipe the John cam up so we can witness this.
Oh, wait,
in full.
here we go.
Where do I have to go? Hold on. Now, this may or may not be.
Are you talking
true,
about Patreon or YouTube?
YouTube.
Where do I have to go to? YouTube or live?
YouTube.
I like how Pornhub is like number 2 on your search history.
It's pretty amazing how you are literally at.
Well,
I didn't even know there was a platinum level for Pornhub. Nice.
That's
He doesn't get any ads at all.
No.
I don't know where the link is. Hold on. It'll
Just
take
go to
me a minute.
YouTube.
Okay, I'm
Jeez
going to
Louise.
YouTube.
I mean, come on.
This guy.
Okay, let's see.
I feel like I'm helping my mom. Look at her phone.
I mean, Jesus.
I mean, it literally does.
I'm glad they're working on you, John. Leave me alone over here.
Or Sleepy.
You're probably helping
Sleepy,
John
throw
look at
this
your
up.
mom on his phone.
All
So I'm
right,
assuming
throw it up.
Chris isn't subscribed
As you
either.
guys can see at home, we're at 9.9.
Chris doesn't even know how to get to YouTube.
So what do I have to do while I'm on
Anyone
the
else out there in
gotta go to the
listener land
channel.
want to
Go to
beat
the
John to the
channel.
punch? You
Back
probably
up.
have time still.
Yeah, you could.
Did I ever subscribe?
We're gonna have 3 listeners or 3 people watching the YouTube live that are gonna manage to get there before John does.
John is subscribed.
Oh, John's already subscribed. Oh
Wait, am I? I
man.
don't even know.
sad
if
party clown.
Oh,
Everybody
man.
check. Chris isn't
Yeah.
subscribed.
Yeah, Chris doesn't even
There's
have
no
a
way
phone.
Chris is subscribed. Give Chris a phone.
Oh man, come on. Seriously, boys.
Everybody check.
Settle
There's got to
down.
be something.
Open your
Jesus
phone and give it to
Christ.
Sleepy.
I'm subscribed.
I'm already in.
Yeah.
All right, what do you? All right,
Go to your Facebook. Go back to your home screen.
9.99.
Just give us the phone.
just give it the.
Welcome to the geriatric. Welcome to the geriatric show where we try to
9.99.
figure out how to use phones.
Okay, here we go. We're in his Facebook. He's already signed in. Great.
I can't find the www
So
button.
what do I do? Search for ClevelandMoto.
Hey, this nice man says I need a warranty for my car.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Dude, an iPhone 3. That's amazing.
Jesus, that still works.
Charged up to 100%.
It's got the large buttons.
Yeah, there you go.
Click on that.
No, go to the web there. Yeah, that's fine. One of them.
So anyway, those of you
Yeah,
playing,
that's pretty funny that
Those
we're
of you
that
playing the
close.
home game.
Yeah, for you guys playing at home, if you're gonna, we're gonna be. I do.
Maybe
I-
Chris is going to be the
It could be really
10,000.
funny.
Hey, Cinch, don't be breaking the fucking phone either.
hey,
Oh, I'm going to.
Be hard on it. Be
Damn it.
real hard on it.
farmers
Where are
only.
you
Why do
in?
you have a farmers only?
You
app?
were in Facebook. You weren't even in. He was in Facebook. I'm trying to subscribe to Facebook. That's what. Where is good, dude? YouTube.
Look at all the ads. AARP.
He's got 93,000 tabs open.
Right?
Oh my god. Oh no, there's no Jeep. Oh, dude, I give up. I give up. Here, you try to find it.
God.
Fuck it. Fuck this.
Doesn't have a YouTube
Anyway,
account.
so while we're trying to wait on this last person
That
to
is
figure
so
out whether or not how to
fucking
say,
funny.
hey, where's Sean? Is Sean subscribed?
Sean's in Miami right
know,
now.
right?
Right. Sean's literally in Miami at the moment.
So moving right along.
Oh my god.
I mean,
that
anybody
is-
out there in listener land who wants to steal this from us, you're more than welcome. You can be the 10,000.
You can be the 10,000.
By the time
yeah.
we get there, we're going
Right.
to be like 10,100.
Yeah. Oh my
And
god.
MotoHop's like, fuck this. At this point, I'm just going to create another account.
Right.
It would take less time than trying to subscribe.
There.
to
Wait,
friends.
somebody did it.
Somebody
we
did it.
literally just hit 10K. That was
Hey!
Pete.
Hey, Pete stole it.
No,
Hold on.
Go ahead, throw it up. Throw it up. Breaking news. Thanks to
On this
Speedy
day,
Pete.
Cleveland Moto reaches 10,000 subscribers.
I couldn't take it anymore.
10,000
Nope.
subscribers.
10,000
All the ships at sea.
thousand.
All right, where's the
10,000
Tanuki?
subscribers.
Where's Tanuki-san?
Tanuki.
Hold on, we got to break him out.
There's the Tanuki.
All right, guys, ready?
Drink.
Official 10,000 thing.
10,000 subscribers.
And 10,001. Digman says he's got one. His son joined up.
Tanuki 10K.
I love how they all. Well, it is fun because I did plead and beg for weeks and weeks. People get us over the 10K level. It's just a personal
people are
victory.
Just piling on. They're just getting on the
Now we're going to be at 100,000 like tomorrow.
Okay. All of it. That's it. That's YouTube. That's the algorithm.
We've broken the cherry. Let's go.
Yeah. I think
if we hit 100,000, I say we do After Dark.
they're going to send me a wooden play button.
Right.
Yeah, but we need an After Dark version where we just do dumb
Where we
shit.
put all the clothes on.
Yeah.
For every $10 we like. It's like the foot fetish episode we did where I sat in front and everybody
man.
just would not leave it alone.
They would not. That was it.
That's
You
when
had to
that's
feel-
when it stalled out at 9,999.
I know. It did.
It did. It literally stalled out.
Saving money to buy.
Can you lose
shoes.
subscribers?
Oh God! Can we get the hillbilly some boots?
My God.
I'm going to unsubscribe and then resubscribe.
So, do you guys remember last week when I'd mentioned something about a big old recall on Honda motorcycles?
Yeah.
It's spreading.
Oh gosh!
It's contagious. It is no longer just an Africa Twin 1100. No, it's gone viral. If you have a 750 Transalp, if you're lucky enough to have one of those if you have a Rebel 1100, which I know two guys who have Rebel 1100s, they are now included in the recall. And this is one of those ones where I'm just going to read it. So if you happen to own or have a friend that has an Africa Twin 1100, a Rebel 1100, or an XL 750, these are all the parallel twin motors, right? You might want to pay attention because there is again, one of my favorite ever recalls. I would like one, Tom, if you're over there, an iced tea from the big fridge. This recall is for my favorite unexpected oil seepage onto the back tire. Now, anybody who's ever had an unexpected oil seepage onto your back tire, usually because the conrod's coming out the bottom of your engine case, you'll know that it becomes really hard to ride that motorcycle when your back tire is resplendent with oil. That is not a good day out. But for real, this is a legit one. If oil, and per Honda, if oil is splattered onto the rear tire, the traction can be significantly reduced, increasing the risk of a crash or injury.
Spy vs. Spy knew that back in the 60s.
Yeah, James Bond had an Aston Martin that was good at that.
Look at Wile E. Coyote knew that one.
That's right.
Hey,
The Acme Honda
Triumph
Africa
finally
Twin.
learned it sometime in the 2000s.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the constant loss oil system that Triumph was running before that.
Harley,
So that's a thing.
Harley still hasn't learned it.
Now, here's the thing. They are saying right now that it is approximately 1,016 motorcycles, but I'm going to tell you this. They don't even fucking know because they're still investigating the problem. And the more they look, the more they're finding. So just be aware, if you have one of those motorcycles, one, visually inspect your motorcycle for any evidence of oil seepages. And if you do see anything that doesn't look legit,
I mean, if you have any motorcycle, you should do that every once in a while.
of course you should.
Well,
Absolutely.
and speaking of recalls, if you're a wheelie boy or a excited track aficionado and you are shining up your new 636, double check the year because if it's a new one, you probably don't want to ride it.
What?
There's a big 636
Is there
recall
really?
right now too. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know
Like
about
motors be blowing up.
that. Oh, Jesus Christmas.
And
really?
so I had a panic attack, but it's the year after mine.
Is it really? Oh, man.
Don't sell yourself short, though, Sleepy. I think you could blow it up.
But they did an engine swap, so you have a newer motor in yours.
No, this one's the 22. So it's just the 2022.
Oh, man. So it is.
So 23 and 24 have some, like if you look, it
Yeah,
should
so
pop
here
up.
it is. I got it right here. It's all 24 and 25 Ninja
There you go.
ZX6R, 636 motorcycles, potential engine issue. The number 5 crankshaft bushing, which may seize during operation due to over-torqued crankshaft bolts. This can lead to a sudden loss of engine power, increasing the risk of a crash.
That guy lost his job.
That robot's on the unemployment line right now.
Well-
a stop sale has been issued for these models. There you go. That's it.
And one of the greatest, is this really happening video that I've seen?
Okay.
Is a kid with no shirt on in overalls and a pair of flip flops standing on the back of his brand new 636 doing a wheelie down the highway as the motor decides to no longer propel him. And so he did a nice little over the front of the bike.
Pinwheel.
Yeah, and it's like the caption was like, when you don't know your bike's about to explode during a wheelie.
And, the Grom guys, thanks to our friend Aaron Grombeardo, who fixed the problem that Groms had, where everybody was out 12 o'clock in their Groms, and it would done because they it turns out bikes don't run with no oil. And if the oil's all in the back of the motor, like in the top case, you can't run the motor.
But dude, how does Honda make a bike that that is a toy bike that they know people are going to be fucking with and not figure out that they probably need to have the oil be sucked
because
from the back?
you've just violated your warranty.
And because the Grom was the Grom wasn't really designed to be like, oh, this is going to be a stunt bike. They were like, this is going to be a
now we're shit talking Honda and we're shit talking Groms, but the first 996 I ever saw, the first Ducati 996 I ever saw had a huge crack across the back of the case because this guy was very well known for wheeling his 996 up until the point the front cylinder decided it liked having oil.
Right.
And then it went kablooey.
It's kind of a thing that,
and that's a Ducati, which is made for going fast.
Right. Yeah. The Grom, when it, the original build statement of the Grom wasn't, we need to build a little bike that's really cheap so that people can buy and then just mod the fuck out of. And that wasn't the original plan over in Japan when they built that thing. The Grom was meant to be Grom. It's called Grom. It's like the little kids that hang around the surfers. It was meant to be ultimately a bike for getting 16-year-old kids back and forth to school. And that was the design, was getting 16-year-old kids back and forth to soccer practice. The Navi was built to get 16-year-old kids back and forth to whatever the equivalent, well, it's probably cricket practice, where that bike is built. So it's just one of those things that when people start saying oh, we're going to do 12 o'clock shit on a Grom, somebody like Grom Beardo has to come along and fix that shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it is funny when people come into the shop all the time that know Aaron. One of my customers comes in and he's a VW fanboy, and he came in and he's like, "Yeah, do you know this guy Grom Beardo?" And I was like, "Yeah, we know. We know Aaron, absolutely."
He messaged me just the other day,
and he's like, "Oh yeah, he helped me with my slammed VW bus." And I was like, "Oh, that's super great."
That's actually what he was saying.
Small world.
He messaged me about air fuel ratios, and I'm like, "Dude, just fucking eyeball it." But because he got his start doing VWs.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, oh, damn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was this company, Pete? 5.4?
Wide 5.
Wide 5, yeah.
Yeah, Wide 5. Yeah. Super fun. I mean, that's super cool that we kind of share people, right? That's really neat. If one of our podcast listeners, this is, again, yet another hilarious thing. We get mail. We get fun mail.
We get lots of hate mail.
Fan mail.
Hate mail.
No, this one's not. Okay, so this is our...
Lay it on me, Postmaster.
I'm going to lay it on you, baby. Here it comes. All right. So, okay, y'all. It's me, Nathan from Virginia, a.k.a. a fat guy on a little bike in the podcast chat. So he's podcast chat guy. So he does the YouTube live stuff.
Cool.
We are a month away from Vintage Motorcycle Days. I just picked up and refurbished bumper to bumper an F-150 extended cab EcoBoost to make the trip this year. For other purposes too, obviously. With an 8-foot bed so I can bring 3 bikes. One is my dad's 50cc Sim scooter. One is my 14-year-old son's Coleman 200. He's coming this year, thus the third bike, and necessity for an extended cab. And the third is for me. That's my query for you fine gents. My stable has plenty of suitable bikes for the purpose, but maybe you all can help me pick.
Yes, we
so
can.
I can begin freshening the choice and modifying if necessary. I have 2 Suzuki FA50 nopeds in fine shape. One Suzuki FS50 that I bought at Vintage Motorcycle Days last year, and it survived 2 days without a hiccup in the awful condition that it was in when I bought it, but has been refreshed since then and will get a rear rack with an egg crate and some knobbies if I bring that one. And then there is my prized O2 XR100R that starts so easily I can kickstart it with my left hand in one half of a kick.
Ding, 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 ding.
All 4 would work. The 2-speed tranny of the FS50 is helpful on the hills. The XR will do anything, and it's small.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I'm going Honda.
But the clutch might be a pain in the swap meet
You
area.
are ringing Johnny's bell.
The clutch might be a pain in the swap meet area, and it has no storage.
That was the only thing I was going to say. Maybe something with an auto clutch, but
I've also found locally a beat-up Buddy 50 with a title that supposedly runs perfect for $500 and a Roughhouse 50 that needs a top end for 400 with a title.
No.
Hold on. I'm personally leaning towards the FS50 because it would be returning to the place I bought it in better shape than I bought it in. But I don't know for sure. Sorry for the long post. If you made it this far, have a beer. You deserve it.
Hey.
Thanks, guys.
Well, first and foremost, you have an 8-foot bed. I believe you can carry more than 3 bikes.
I think you can carry 6 bikes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Secondly,
I've seen it done.
We played this game.
whatever you bring, you can ride everybody else's shit too. So just bring something and then trade somebody. If you
Put a
want to
rack. Don't you have a hitch? Put a rack
No.
on the back and take another bike there.
Yeah.
Well, with that much space, he could bring whatever he wants to. So the first thing I'm going to address is going backwards. The Roughhouse 50. Well, we're going to bring not 1, not 2, but 3 Black Cat 50s. Same fucking bike.
Yes.
Okay. He says it needs a top end for 400 with a title. If it has a title and needs a top end, it's worth exactly $1.
Yes.
Okay. You have a title there. That's worth $1. Honestly, I'll be nice and say the title's worth $100. But having to buy a Roughhouse 50 and put a fucking top end on it, well,
I mean, Phil, historically, people pay you about $300 to abandon that exact bike at the shop.
it's one of those things that it doesn't really have a dollar value. First of all, it fell off the Kelly Blue Book thing about fucking 6 years after they sold it because it was $18.99 brand fucking new.
Yeah.
So the bike has no value. So if the guy wants $400 with a title, I see $100 in your future. You go in and say, I have a trailer, I have $100, I'll be there in an hour. And I'll bet you leave with that fucking bike. Because nobody's going to give $400 for a non-running 50. Okay, so that's the first one. Buddy 50 with a title that supposedly runs perfect for $500. Wait a second, $500? I see $200 in your future.
Correct.
So a 50 that runs perfectly, go show the man $200 American and be prepared to lift it up in the back of your truck. In fact, it's probably a better idea if you don't show up at the truck, it'll surprise them that much more when you buy it and ride it out of there. Because $200 a Buddy 50 with a title, that's an all day long at AMA Vintage Days bike. And again, pretty easy to strap a fucking box to the back of that cocksucker. The XR, yeah, you need storage. But there's a lot of different ways you can put storage on an XR 100. Backpack, milk crate, strap it to the back, whatever. But I do agree with the automatic transmission being oh so attractive. So that brings us back to the FS50. And it also brings us back to his nopeds. Those FA50s are just a stick with a motor on it.
Those aren't going to do well in the barrel racing.
They're not.
Or the woods, or like
Right.
a lot of things.
Yeah,
you
that's
wanna do.
why I'm leaning towards the XR.
Yeah, the XR can goddamn go.
Plus the XR in first
Anywhere.
gear, you can pop the clutch, one-handed. You can ride around holding a beer all day long with that thing.
Yeah, you can put an XR. You can put an XR 100 in second gear and leave it there all day.
Well, and there's not an event that you can participate in without actually signing up for something that the XR couldn't handle that most of the other ones wouldn't.
Right. That's
Like
true.
like mud drag racing, barrel racing, stupid stuff. Just
Right.
it's just a better bike.
So put the XR in, put the Coleman in for your kid, and then you're still going to have room for the stick with the motor. It's going to fit.
It really is. I mean, you could bring them all. Sleepy, would you throw this up for me, please?
Yeah.
What if one breaks?
Well,
Where's your
that's the
spare?
other thing too. You gotta have a
idea.
spare, right? You gotta have a spare.
That is a cute bike.
So the FS50 is kind of the perfect vintage day shopping trolley. They already have a rack on the back. They already have a basket on the front, and it is kind of the perfect bike for vintage
You've put
days.
a horrible idea in my head.
Dude, I've seen those
Well-
carrying CB350s.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Given how many half blown up Buddy 125s we have, I now want to wrap a shopping cart on the back of a Buddy 125.
I just threw away my shopping cart. Man, I just took it apart. That's our new battery
Get down the
rack.
street and get another one.
Oh my
Tom, you should make a double-sized milk crate and be like the hero of every fucking KLR guy.
Right,
exactly.
right. Yeah, I'll find something to put my ultimate my GV.
we were talking about
milk crate box on.
we were talking about the party boom box the other day, and now
Too much work.
Too much work.
Just JBL already exists.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fine. They got that. They own that shit. But that's fucking cool, and I think it's good. And in the spirit of this, Pete, the guys from Moto, they are coming to AMA Vintage Days. Liza's coming to AMA Vintage Days. We're going to have a lot of fucking cool people at AMA Vintage Days, and there's going to be a lot of shit going on.
I think I've convinced Bobby Smith to come up to our neighborhood instead of just driving by and throwing bottles of Malort at us.
Not a bad idea. Yeah.
When he was posting his he's smoking a brisket the other day. I'm like, damn, dude, you need to bring that.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're going to get in the weeds on this shit.
Yeah.
I want to get legitimately into the weeds because I've run into fucking 10 people at the shop in the past 2 weeks that are like, what's AMA Vintage Days? I'm like, you showed up on a CB350.
Yeah.
Right.
How the fuck can you not know what AMA Vintage Days is? I was shocked that these guys had never heard of it. And yet they're like, oh, I got a garage full of old bikes. Well, that's a sin.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, one, you're depriving the rest of the vintage motorcycle community from maybe
all the trash in your garage,
helping clean the shit out of your garage, right?
I kind of like we were talking about outside. I kind of feel like I need to bring a flatbed and just drag everything out of the garage. And at the same rate, I could just get no monies for it here.
Well, there is a thing about Vintage Days where we who've done it many, many times will know that if you think, oh, I got a bike, but it's kind of hard to find parts for, or I've called all the usual suspects to find parts for my really rare bike. And you're like, dude, fucking go to Vintage Days. I saw 17 of those there last year.
Yeah. The only thing that shocks me is when like an Ariel Square 4 shows up.
I saw 2 there last year.
There.
Yeah, it's the rarest bike in the world.
No,
there were 2, and they were both being ridden.
Exactly.
I saw one last weekend. Yeah,
it's just like, that's the way that fucking thing runs. It is.
I've got the rarest Honda CB400T.
Yeah, you don't. I promise you. To that effect, one of my customers popped in the other day and said, "Hey, do you guys know Skidmark Garage?"
Never heard of it.
And I went, no. And he goes, well, I called their phone number, and on their voicemail, it says, we don't work on your bikes. We don't work on bikes, but we'll help you work on your bikes.
Right.
And if you have a bike that needs to be fixed, call ClevelandMoto. And I was wondering why things were getting weird around the shop in the past 3 weeks. And it turns out that's why. We've been getting some unpaid for advertising by Skidmark Garage. And this guy that brought a bike in was like, yeah, man, I heard about it on their voicemail. Oh. And I was like, okay, all right, fair enough. Shots have been fired. No, but it's fun and it's all in the community. Give me the opportunity to say no. That's really cool. The guy that showed up was a super nice guy, and I'm thrilled he did because of that. Because of Skidmark Garage putting literally the name of our shop on his voicemail. That's neat. He probably gets 100 fucking calls a week because I know myself and at least 4 other shops. If you call me and you go, I got a 81 Suzuki GS that needs that. Everybody, and it's funny when I said that I wasn't picturing your bike, I was picturing his bike, an 850. So I was like, it just came up because that seems to be a bike that a lot of people have as a GS 850.
That's called a Freudian slip.
Exactly.
No, it's real. It's a real deal.
Well, no, I mean it definitely is. Like you can find videos on YouTube of like younger fellas, and they're like, I can't believe I found this super rare vintage bike and I'm going to get it to run. And it's like a CB450. Yeah. And you're like, dude, there's nothing rare about that.
Rare about that.
You're fine. I paid like $2,000 for a V45 Magna and I need to get it running.
That's the one, man. That's the one that gets me is when somebody's like, man, I got a great deal on a 700 Interceptor. And I'm like, no. Unless they paid you $500 to take it out of their garage, that's not a great deal. That is 2 or 3 years of your life you're never going to get back.
So how long do you think? I mean, I guess they've had plenty of time to do it, but so some of these vintage bikes that are just pains in the dick, right?
Yeah.
But they're still good looking bikes. Like you look at an Interceptor and it's still a fun looking, like sexy bike, especially like the red, white, and blue one and all those.
Yeah, they're all nice.
When's somebody going to make so the biggest problem is usually the carbs and stuff.
The boots.
And the boots and all that. Yeah. So how are they not, how in 2025 do we not have a universal, but then, with kind of like with cars, you can buy an EFI unit for whatever, but if you have specific cars, then you have to buy kits, whatever. How do we not have a fucking universal EFI kit for a motorcycle?
We've actually been talking about this for ages. And on a podcast 1,000 years ago.
I know, yeah.
We had Ryan Foltz on our podcast, who is a guy who has taken Megasquirt and taken several off-the-rack fuel injection systems and diddled and fiddled and fucked with them, right? Until he learned that it is not just like I can do this. We also have our friend Nick DeVito, who's probably listening right now, who was literally out there with a laptop hooked up to, what was that, a fucking Trail 90?
90.
A Trail 90, trying to run an EFI.
And it did. It was running.
Right.
Well,
but that's a long way. Okay, I'm about to lose a listener. I will let you know right now, I'm about to throw a motherfucker under the bus. And if you're the motherfucker, when you hear this, you have every right to cancel our podcast, and we'll go back down to 9,999 fucking. Right. Here's the thing.
I've already done that.
Thank you. All right. We just got over the thing where you were unsubscribed.
I was just a visitor.
Okay. I can sell you. I can start a little production plant in China, and we can make brand new fucking V40. We can make brand new V45 carburetors. Brand new. Right? I can make brand new Interceptor 1000 carburetors. I can make brand new VMAX carburetors. I can make brand new carburetors. And then I can have the factory next door making brand new intake boots.
Pretty sure that's already being done.
And brand new intake to airbox boots. And we can get together and I can put my fucking peanut butter in your chocolate. We can put it in a beautiful box inside another beautiful box. And we can put it up on eBay for $500 fucking dollars. Maybe. But here's the problem. There ain't one fucking guy who's walked into my shop in a hot fucking year that's qualified enough to take apart even a a 500 Interceptor, the easy one, and to take that bike apart, to remove those V4 carburetors and install said boots and install said carburetors and install said airbox and pull the job off. And wipe his hands and walk away and say, I did that myself, and now I can go ride the bike. Because that is literally in the middle of the intersection where you will find a unicorn, Santa Claus, and the Easter Bunny fighting over a fucking dollar. All right? Because that shit doesn't exist. Because anybody who can do that either used to get paid to work on motorcycles and now they've smartened up and they're doing something better, or they're currently working on motorcycles and suffering because people fucking bring in shit like that. And they're like, it almost runs perfectly. I did these 99 things to it, and it's this far away from being good. And you're like, no, it is not this far away from being good. It is, I'm going to have to take everything back apart again and redo what you think you did right to find out forensically where you did it wrong.
Harris is now cursing at a Ducati that's been sitting at the shop for 5 years now.
I can think of 15 mechanics that I know right now that are listening to this that are going, Phil, throw that fucker under the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Throw it. Drop his name.
Yeah.
Right? Because every one of these 15 mechanics is saying the exact same thing. It's so close. I did all the hard work. No, you did all the work wrong. And you created a bunch of hard work for us.
Yes.
This idea of like, yes, I have not one, but two Honda GB500s, and they are one fuel injection system away from being the world's perfect motorcycles.
It would be so great.
Okay?
Yeah.
There are a shit ton of motorcycles that start with the letters XR and XL that all have one cylinder, 4 valves, and are begging for a good fuel injection system so that I could run up to any gas pump in America, fill that bitch full of 87 octane, and proceed gaily forward.
Well, the funny thing is, you mentioned the XRs. The KLR finally got the perfect fuel injection system. It's the cheapest one you could possibly ever throw on, minus a Chinese scooter.
Okay. So when we talk about that appropriation or the application of science and technology and intellect and talent, is when are we going to find the fucking nerd who goes, all right, in my right hand, I'm holding China's fuel injection system for a fucking 500cc fling poo scooter or motorcycle. And I am going to now make the adapters to then put this on a style of motorcycle for which here in the United States were sold no less than 400,000 units.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a metric shit ton of single cylinder, pretty fucking easy in theory to do. Don't get into the weeds on, it's just for a 4th cylinder or for a 3-cylinder or a 2-cylinder. Dude, just fucking show up with the 1-cylinder one. Do that. Even my grandfather would give you a gold fucking star, right? If you do that, a bunch of old crabby guys at Mid-Ohio are going to beat a fucking path to your door because everybody who's got a cool old bike from the 80s or the cool old bike from the 70s is going to be able to drive it. But the number one reason bikes come into our shop is ethanol.
Skidmark sends them over.
Skidmark sends them over. It's ethanol poisoning.
And we thank you for that, Skidmark.
Yeah, exactly. It's ethanol poisoning. It's ethanol poisoning. It's because a bike sat for anything over fucking 60 days or 90 days with a tank of, 10 or 15% ethanol in it. And I bought the kit so I could literally walk up to a customer's bike and I can draw off 6 ounces of gasoline out of their gas tank, shake it up, set it on their fucking gas tank, start telling them how they're not allowed to do this anymore. And by the time I get done with my little fucking rant about how they're not allowed to do this anymore, we look over at the vial, and the vial shows us how much water is in their gas, right? That kit, that ethanol detection kit, is the only thing that I have now as a prop that now takes it from the land of Phil's bullshitting me and it's a fantasy world and he's just an awful fucking salesman to this motherfucker just showed me how much water's currently in my gas tank. What percentage of water is currently in my gas tank? What percentage of ethanol is currently in my gas tank? It's a big fucking deal. And if you have a bunch of carburetors, pump gas is no longer your friend, right? We all know that. We know that sitting around this table. But we get people dropping off bikes at our shop all the fucking time.
I need to find my old cottage cheese photos when I take carburetors apart that have been sitting with ethanol.
Well, it's like a rogues gallery.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, the green. Okay, we know what the symptom, the green is.
Green gas,
we know what the slime is. Okay, we got the slime. We get the oatmeal. We know what the oatmeal is. We get the gray powder. We know what the gray powder is. But the point being to the consumer is they're all still coming in, right? So apparently the word's not out far enough yet. Fuel injection solves everything for people who don't want to dick with their carburetors all the time, and it really does.
Except
for the time being.
When the rubber O-rings decide they don't like.
Well,
ethanol.
that's the other part of it. Yeah, and we're now at the shop seeing very clear evidence that a 15-year-old fuel injected bike is going to show those problems.
Because fuel line, because most, let's say 90% of 90% of what we see comes from other countries.
Yes, it does.
And the only countries stupid enough to use ethanol are the United States of America and Brazil. And every other country uses this thing called rubber, which doesn't respond well to alcohol, which ethanol is mostly corn alcohol.
Yep.
And so suddenly you've got this hose that goes from your fuel pump to the exit. That's not going from the fuel pump to the exit anymore.
Absolutely.
Because it goes, no, I don't like ethanol, fuck you.
Yeah, I made the mistake of actually touching one of the fuel lines. I made the mistake of touching one on a 15-year-old bike. Mm-hmm. And I touched it just to check to see how supple, and it fucking disintegrated. And that's a 15-year-old fuel line that has been on the motorcycle since it left the factory.
And this does have EPA stampings down the side. Literally, every single one of them sold in America should say EPA yada, yada,
rated.
yada.
Yeah, that does. DOT stamped right on the side. But as soon as I touched it to check to see how supple it was, it didn't even let me do that. As soon as I gave it any kind of, fingering, it fell to pieces. Just like my first wife.
Prom date.
Yeah, that's how that works. So, that's a fucking weird thing. But for vintage days and for the idea of bringing something fun to vintage days, we're going to bring all kinds of weird shit. We're going to bring all kinds of weird crazy
my
crap.
next 2 weeks are literally just bashing shit together. So.
Yeah, that's going to be, and it's going to be the idea of better than walking and better than a $400 golf cart.
And also, if you have any requests for things that are not crazy shit we bash back together, Phil has a whole
go to my fucking website, dude.
Bikes.
Go to my website.
Exactly.
We've got everything up on the website.
We can bring cool shit too. You just let us know what you want.
The trucks are coming that way. Yeah. I can deliver a bike to you at Vintage Days. One of our customers took us up.
V85 TT Travel.
V85 TT Travel, right? Slightly economically priced. But one of our customers, one of our podcast listeners, contacted us and said, "I'm putting my fucking money where my mouth is," and he bought that black and white Simba. Okay. Yeah. We will bring a running bike to you at Vintage Days.
Absolutely.
He literally PayPal'd me the fucking money.
Well, the guy that was going to buy the G400C kept saying, I'm going to buy it and ride it home from Mid-Ohio, actually showed up early and bought it and rode it and got rid of it.
Because he knows I'll sell it.
Exactly.
He knew that I would sell that bitch out from under him in a second. The first time somebody waved real money at me, I made a statement, a declarative statement on the podcast, $3,500 for any podcast listener. he knew that if somebody local came in and showed me 4, it's gone.
Well,
because I'm in the business to make money.
The one thing I've learned about you is you will always say, I'm not going to sell this thing. And then somebody comes in and says, here's a stack of cash. And you go, well, you know what I like more than that bike?
Yeah.
Money.
Well, fuck yeah, dude. Yeah. If look, I love that Dax right now, but if somebody comes in and gives me $4,300, that Dax is a fucking distant memory, right? Yeah, that's what it costs to make me no longer the owner of a Dax. Because ultimately, I will have hundreds of more motorcycles in my life. And
every single one of them I've got to fix. So,
in case you're wondering, that call was my daughter got assassinated.
What?
She's in the senior assassin thing.
What?
And there were 150 students, and they have to shoot each other with squirt guns. And she was one of the last 5.
Oh, really? Top 5?
Yeah. And
check out the moves on Piper.
Yeah, she got a couple people out, and then she was coming out of work.
Oh, and they got her.
And it's a purge. So your safety goggles don't save you.
They don't save you.
It's getting everybody ready for the next couple of years.
And it was a carnage. There's some carnage.
There's some carnage. Taken down.
It's like $750 if you're the last man standing.
Oh,
really? Wow. So that is Hitman.
Sounds like a Mid-Ohio activity here.
That does sound like Mid-Ohio. That does sound like Mid-Ohio. So
actually, before we get too involved in anything else, we have both Sean and Renee in the podcast chat.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
So
Sean Noel?
Yeah.
From Miami?
From Miami.
Oh, my Lord.
Well, he's actually at Edgewater. If you read the next
I didn't read the post. Oh, man.
He said, I'm actually at Edgewater, but I rode the scooter, so it was slutty.
It was very slutty. Yeah. That's funny.
So, I saw them both are talking to each other in the chat.
Oh, that's good. They're enjoying the Chatapalooza.
My chat has not updated since forever.
Mine's been doing weird shit.
It's probably because we're burning up all the Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
All right.
Maybe I should turn mine off.
I mean, hey, if you're not using it, right?
I don't think I'm on.
If you haven't been to an AMA Vintage Days before, has anybody ever been to an AMA Vintage Days where it didn't rain?
I don't think so.
Chris?
Yeah.
You been to one where it didn't rain?
Yep.
While you were there.
Well, it was.
Well, that's right.
You weren't there for the
Have I been to one?
Increase your odds by eliminating your exposure. I like that. Yeah.
I hope it rains like a motherfucker.
Because we had the Dust Bowl last year.
It might not have rained.
I think maybe.
Yeah, and the year I went down with you, then they had the bus.
Because I was like
school bus.
The one year we had the school bus, all the fucking easy ups blew away, and that was definitely a monsoon typhoon situation going on there.
Apocalypse. Apocalypse.
I just remember holding on to easy ups and being lifted off the ground.
Yeah, I remember looking at Zach's feet not on the ground.
We did learn an important lesson. When the wind picks up, don't try to hold the easy up. Pop the top.
Yeah, pop the top. Like fold all the.
Take down your sails.
Yeah,
well, now last year, remember when we had the threat of rain, we popped all the corners.
Yeah,
we're like, okay, bring it,
because we're gun shy.
Yeah,
and then it literally turned into the Dust Bowl, and it was just insane.
You might not get wet. You might get wet, but you will still have a pop up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. So part of our thing when we go is that we plan for 4 seasons. We plan for everything shy of snow. If you have rain gear, fucking bring it. Right? If you're like, look, I got a tent. It's a good tent. Okay, it might be a good tent. Bring 2 tarps to help out your good tent. Right? This is the time to bring a little extra.
Hard shelter is nice. If you got your little enclosed trailer, those are great. Whatever you got.
Dude, the back of my truck. Last year, I slept in the back of my truck. Yeah. It was great.
It is. That's why I'm bringing a U-Haul. Sleeping in a U-Haul.
Like you have converted to the U-Haul.
I have. Yep, I have. This is an experiment. So we're going to do an experiment with the U-Haul for a little while and see what it's like to not have to own a van.
So you were talking about things that would make Mid-Ohio nice.
Make it better.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, of course, is always light, right? Like you need flashlights and party lights and everything. And at band camp, I was talking to you about the cooler that I had that I really liked. So I started searching out a little bit on the Amazons, and I think I've come up with a solution. And I ordered a bunch for everybody for their coolers, and that's the motion sensor.
Oh, really?
Stick-on light.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That we can stick on the lid of your cooler, so when you open it up, you can see what beer you're getting and everything. And then when you close it, 30 seconds later, it shuts itself off.
And that's brilliant, too. You just have it in your tent. Yeah. So as soon as you go to reach into your tent, light comes on, so you can go find shit without having to, get your hands free.
$11 on the Amazon.
Wow! Are they rechargeable or battery operated?
I don't want. They're AAA batteries, so you can just no button cell or anything like that. You can swap out batteries.
Yeah, and I've got a bucket of rechargeable lithium-ion double A's and triple A's. So,
and I'm stealing an idea from the one show that we went to out there in Las Vegas. Do you remember in the back when they had the ceiling fan vertical with a bunch of red or orange LEDs?
Oh, yeah.
And it made a fire pit?
Yeah, the fire pit.
Well, I thought about this, right?
That was the Misfits had that going on.
It is.
Yeah.
And so the thing is like...
It's balls hot. Well, the last thing you need is a fire.
Right.
Real
so,
fire.
but at Mid-Ohio, so you got this thing, it's blowing cool air up.
Yeah.
You got the light from the LEDs, so it's a nice warm light so you can see and talk.
Oh, I love
and
that.
And then the wind is going up into the canopy and blowing out, so that should move the bugs out of the canopy.
That's a good idea.
So all we need is like a battery tank to run a fan. And
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm in. No, we're gonna have an
Very good
LED
idea.
fan driven fire.
Well, that brings us
Very
to
good idea.
generators. Don't bring a generator unless it's really fucking quiet.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
my propane one is whisper quiet.
You should have to get a permission slip from the people sleeping next to you to get
Like let's just put it this way: if you show up and run a loud fucking generator at Mid Ohio, chances are you're going to wake up and your shit's going to be off, and you're going to wonder why, and you're probably not going to have a carburetor.
If you're running a loud generator at
8
Mid-Ohio,
horsepower Tecumseh, no bueno.
if you're running a loud generator at Mid-Ohio, you better bring me some fucking tacos. That better be a taco truck you're fucking running.
Does that include Harley Bob's generator?
No, he's got a quiet one. Oh no, he doesn't. He's got that champion
But we only
one.
run it for like an hour and
But
a half.
he's got that weird. He's got that cover over it though that actually dampens the noise.
But here, you guys want a real pro tip? This is the huge pro tip, and this is what
Wait, I thought we were
everybody
gonna go around the
forgets.
table and everybody's going to give an
Well,
idea.
we're getting there. Regarding this with the generators, the pro tip with the generators, Mr. Smith, it is involved with this thing.
Smith's got to talk about his waifu blanket.
Spend the 15 cents and buy earplugs and bring them with you in your car. That's the greatest thing that you can do to sleep throughout Mid-Ohio if you have to.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of silencing generators, loud generators, midnight missions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it too.
Commando
I mean,
raids.
if you want to run your generator during the broad daylight, fine, I guess. But
Yeah, ours will be like 9 a.m., 10 a.m.
Yeah. Not a big deal.
Well, now that you're not,
You won't hear it off
Now that
over
it's-
all the pit bikes.
now that you're not trying to charge a car battery.
Right.
I mean, I get it.
Well,
You'd like to keep your air conditioner running for you, but you're fucking everybody else.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Dan
Yep.
Dan rented a camper because we're at Becky's like, I've screwed. I want to rent a camper, and I'm like, all right, I'm in. But Dan rented one for band camp, and we're over there trying to figure out why the fridge won't work and why all this other stuff is going crazy and why the generator, like you ran the generator for a while and the battery never went above.
Wouldn't charge up.
Wouldn't charge. And you're like, that son of a bitch, it's got a fucking car battery in it.
Oh, yeah.
A dead car battery.
A dead car battery.
So is that the pro tip takeaway here? Rent a camper.
Yeah,
Not a bad thing.
That's
I mean,
kind of
Deep Cycle.
I think that was one of the best years at band camp was the Thor toy hauler.
the diesel pusher with the.
My 50th birthday, I brought all the camper. And for my 50th birthday, that thing was the party palace. It was a magic place because the air conditioning never quit running. And I will say something about that. Rental campers suck left nutsacks all day long. You just rented one that was brand fucking new. The guy didn't know how to use it. It had a bullshit little tiny car battery in it that wasn't the right thing for it. So you had a fail experience and you paid money for it. We talked to several people at band camp that rented trailers that had fucked up problems. And I'm going to tell you that even when I spent the money of the gods on the 50-foot Thor ultimate party hauler with the party deck and the upstairs, no shit, upstairs in a camper, that it showed up and the Jenny wouldn't work. So that I had to run the V10 all weekend on and off to keep everything charged up and keep the AC going. And I contacted the guy straight away and I said, I know you want to charge me bucks deluxe for any hour I run this Jenny, like over 12 hours, but the Jenny won't even light up because the power control system in the camper wasn't working correctly. So the only way we could run things was to literally run the V10 motor in the camper. And I said, so I'm expecting a discount because I'm burning up all the gasoline in this thing to keep the AC going and whatnot. But yeah, it is not uncommon to rent a camper that has fucking issues. And if you're going to rent a camper and you have to be there to check it out, because usually they want to give you a 1.5 hour block of instruction and sign on the line 400 times. So like if you scratch it or scuff it or fart in it, that you have to buy them a new camper. While you're doing all that, say, okay, pal, do me one thing. You go in and show me while I'm watching how to turn on, how to operate the slide outs, how to operate the slide outs if their battery's not working, how to operate the Jenny, what happens if the Jenny's not working, what happens if the water pump's not working. On mine, we left there with a completely empty black water tank. You know, when we showed up to camp, we had a completely empty black water tank. 3 people took a shit. Nobody took a shower. And all of a sudden, it said that my black water tank was completely 100% full.
That's easy to solve at Mid-Ohio.
Again, it gave us a certain amount of concern when, after the third guy shit in it, it said that the black water tank was 100% full. Turns out it was a problem with the camper. And just, if you're going to rent one, they cost a lot of money to rent. Take an extra 15 minutes. Don't just be like the guy's testing you. Turn it around and test him a little bit. Test the guy who's renting it to you. Make him show you the batteries. Make him show you how to do the stuff. Because we rented 2 campers that year. I rented a camper for AMA Vintage Days, and I rented a camper for band camp. And both of those campers both had problems that definitely made it a lot less fun.
Just like I never met a carb that didn't cleaned.
Right.
I never met an RV that didn't need fixed.
Right. And that's absolutely true. There's a million different systems that can and will go wrong at any moment.
Everything with a house and a car all wrapped in one.
Yeah.
And it sucks dick. I mean, it's great when it's all working, but it sucks.
Well,
when you gotta-
that's always the joke, is that the only person that ever enjoys a camper or an RV is
Right.
the first person.
The first person.
And as soon as the
right.
first problem pops up, they're like, all right, cool, bye.
And it is like the town bike, everybody's got a ride, and you're only going to get the experience that the previous 40 people that rented it got. But in Dan's case, it was brand new.
Oh, I don't think it was. I
No,
think
it
it
was
was
2 years old.
2 years old.
2 years
But
old.
that's the problem.
In the guy's defense, he gave me a third of my money back.
Yeah.
Yes, but you did not have 100% of your fun.
And the
Right.
bathroom worked just fine. The fridge was the problem.
Phil, you forgot to use the phrase. Shitter was full.
The shitter was full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Hey, Clark, shitter's full.
my neighbor,
Yeah.
which most of you guys have met,
Oh, yeah.
Phil
Absolutely.
guy, he bought a new RV last year. Not an RV, a trailer, but like a big ass, tall fifth wheel, whatever you call it. So he got it on sale because it hadn't sold in 11 months. So he paid $42,000 for this fucking thing.
Yeah.
And he had it for 2 weeks, and before it was leaking, trim was falling off of it,
Yeah.
the TV didn't work,
Well, I was
the
going to
outside
say, I
lights
think
stopped
it's
working.
just the nature of the beast. In 2 years, it's time for a new camper.
Well, if you
They're
make a
falling
house out
apart.
of cardboard,
I was going to say they are basically MDF wrapped in plastic.
My wife,
Start with an enclosed trailer and build it out the way you want it. Then you got the perfect. So
Seriously.
they're always watertight. And it's your toy hauler. Put what you want in there. You can put a rooftop AC off an old RV or something, and that's the way to go.
our friend the Biddles have done a very good job with that very small utility trailer, and it works really nice for camping at Vintage Days.
That's what I'm eyeballing.
It really does. That's the perfect setup.
Scratch and dent.
It's a pretty fucking rad situation. At AMA Vintage Days, do not forget your sunscreen, your big floppy fucking hat. Do not forget that it could be painful direct sunlight, because we are talking about the balls hot of July. It will teach you some things about hot and humidity.
There is shade, but not in the campground.
It's
Not most of it.
It's not most of it. And you will be fighting for shade. And you'll find out that easy up pop-up tents are not 100% SPF. John was under a fucking table. John was under a picnic table. John was having a bad day.
I went full fucking Labrador.
He did.
He was giving blowies.
I was like,
Well, he was standing. He was getting sunburn, standing under a pop-up because they only give like 30%
yeah.
light protection.
The coolest place was under the hop-up, under a table,
Yeah.
on the ground.
On the
And I
ground.
was like,
Yeah, and he wasn't looking too good. Be aware that that's
water, lots of water.
Drink a fucking hydrate your
Well,
ass off.
this is what I always tell people. I
Yeah.
said, if you ever want to know what to bring us, ice. Always
Yeah,
bring ice.
always bring
we
ice,
can never
yeah.
have enough ice.
Right.
If anybody wants to come by, bring ice.
Yeah, bring ice. And there's places to get it at the campsite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And water is always good because we always buy like a couple of racks of bottled water, and then we always have the igloo cooler full of water and excess ice because we always have too much ice for like 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't last
But
long.
it goes into the igloo and then it comes back out as water.
Yeah.
And then we always have extra bottles of sunscreen everywhere over the camp. So if you need to bring anything and you feel like, hey, I need to bring you guys something, water, ice, sunscreen.
Yeah. And white, long-sleeved dress shirt.
Yeah.
There is a reason when you go to the Middle East everybody's wearing a white long-sleeved dress shirt.
Yeah.
It works better. I know that it's fashionable to have a black motorcycle T-shirt.
Forget your Mad. The first thing you told me about Wasteland was forget Mad Max bullshit.
Forget Mad Max bullshit. Do not dress like Mad Max. Dress like that one year where they were all the sand people, like they were all wearing white.
Yeah.
Dress like that. Those people had it figured out. I've been to the desert. Dress in white. Dress Lawrence of Arabia. You will be much fucking happier.
Fishing shirts and floppy hats.
Yep, fishing shirts and floppy hats are there for a reason. Look for the SPF symbol on it, because you're going to be a hell of a lot happier if you're not dealing with a massive fucking sunburn. Because you forget, you're walking around swap meet. It's a time vortex. You have no idea what happened. You're down walking through the swap meet, and all of a sudden you're like, it's fucking 4 p.m. What the hell happened? I haven't pissed or shit. No, because your body is literally burning everything. You are dehydrated. You need
expect
to
brown
take care
urine.
of yourself. Oh yeah.
And and here's something
You're pissing
too.
out Prestone, yeah.
So before you go back to your tent, say you're what usually happens is you do stuff all day, and it's almost like at a resort. You go back to your tent and you kind of organize yourself for the evening hours, right?
Change, yeah.
Yeah, change. Maybe put longer pants on because the sun's going down. It's getting weird.
Right.
One of the things, even when I was drinking, now that I'm not, whatever, I still do, is I organize and set up what I need to go to sleep and lay it on my pillow.
Yes, you do.
Because that way, no matter what condition I am when I fall into the tent, or nowadays stroll or slide into the tent, depending on the mood I'm in.
Slither.
Yeah, slither on in. Everything you need is right there. You don't have to flip on lights, fuck around, nothing. You slide on whatever you're doing and you hit the sack.
Don't take your shower at 8 a.m.
No.
Take your shower at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m.
Or 1 a.m.
or 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll not get near the damn showers.
Right.
Pro tip: over by the where the gas pumps are for the racers, just around that little area, there's a nice asphalt pad with a really, really good pressure water hose over there. You'll see people washing their bikes off, washing their ATVs off. That is my favorite shower in the whole place. I will put my bathing suit on. I'll go over there and I'll hit that up. But also behind the service building, where the race car support teams and all that shit are back there, behind the service building, which is behind the good showers, there's also a couple of good high pressure water hoses back there.
Yep.
So if you just need a bitch bath, if you just need to knock the dust off, need to knock the dirt off yourself, that is another good resource to have. However, the water is not necessarily potable. So please be careful about what you drink from at Mid-Ohio Raceway Park. Yep. Do not assume that if it comes out of a tap that it's drinkable. Please, I've seen a lot of guys are like, I think I'm sick. I'm not feeling too good. Yeah, what did you do? Oh, I've been drinking the water out of the shitter for the past 3 days. Maybe not the best move.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think that's city water.
I mean, a gallon of spring water is $1.
It's $1.
Buy a couple of those, and you can take a really nice horse bath. Top
well, I'm just saying, just
from your top to your waist.
Yeah,
I mean,
just consumption. Just drink. Don't drink the tap water there. Don't trust it.
Also, a big fan of the Bubba mugs loaded with ice.
Bubba mug full of ice is going to get you a
Don't
long
go
way.
too heavy on the alcohol. What's your mix?
Now, if you do go to the showers after 11 p.m. up at the top, you are going to encounter the bottle kids.
Yeah.
Or whatever the kids are that throw poo over the showers. Or whatever they throw. I don't know.
Again, I've not been afraid to beat a man down naked.
That's true.
Somebody throws something over the shower on me, you are going to know what it's like to get your ass beat by a nude dude.
I understand the showers are enclosed now.
And then covered in your own feces.
That's true.
Back in the day, it was like Auschwitz or the cattle.
Yeah,
bin.
it was.
You were standing there in line behind 6 other dudes while a dude is showering. You're all naked, waiting for your time to shower.
The new showers are pretty rad. The new showers are pretty great. I'm a fan. I definitely like them. And it's nice, too, that people, before you always leave a little extra soap behind so you don't have to bring your own, which is totally cool. I appreciate that. Those travel-sized bottle shampoos, I have no problem getting there second. No problem with that at all. There's food in the infield. There's plenty of food to buy. There's a decent little concession stand in the hot pits area where the mechanics are set up, where the racers set up. There's plenty of food that you can buy when you get there. So don't freak the fuck out and be like, oh my God, there's no food here. It just because it's not like your normal Ohio State Fair or something that you're used to 75 different food stands. There's actually a pretty good representation in the infield, and there are some hard concessions that are there. But that being said, it's kind of like airport pricing. So if you're going to be stingy about it, just expect the fact that, it's going to be a little pricier. A cheeseburger there might be $6 or $7. If you don't vibe with that, if you're not cool with that, BYOF, motherfucker. Just bring yourself, grab 2 MREs on the way in. You'll be fine. Get a couple of protein bars, work your way through it. Don't bitch about, people bitch constantly, like, a chicken sandwich over there was $8. No shit, man. But it was there.
Well, go to a baseball game.
There's
Right,
literally is it a Sheets? Like right off the exit?
Yeah, there's plenty.
So if you're worried about food,
Yeah.
they give you a hand stamp, run out there, go get it, come back.
Okay, and other things. There will be a fucking line to get into the place. If you get there Friday morning at 8 o'clock, right? Friday morning at noon, or Friday at noon, there will be a line to get in. It will be a big line. There will be a lot of people super confused, never done it before. They do not have their defecation centralized. They are like, I have an email in my phone that says I'm allowed to be here and that I paid my admission. Well, but not the cell phone's coverage there could be a little sketchy. Also, if you're not good with your phone and you can't call that shit up, or Gertrude working the desk, right? Here's the thing. Gen Xers all know. If you get a document in your email, you can print that cocksucker out. Print it out. It's got a QR code on it. Screenshot it. Print it out on paper is my secret move. I print it out on paper. I put the paper on my fucking dashboard. I roll up to the thing. I take my piece of paper. I park on the side. I walk up and say, "Hi, Gertrude. It's Phil from ClevelandMoto. I'm on 7 fucking lists." Right? Give me a handful of passes. And I show my paper printouts. This way, I'm not trying to scan my phone and hand it to her, and then she drops it, or she scrolls right and sees my collection of dick pics, or whatever the hell it is. Gertrude doesn't need to have that kind of stress in her life. So print it out on a piece of paper. Piece of paper is great. If you're going into the campsite, if you try to go in the campsite and you don't have a piece of paper that says you've paid for a campsite, or secret pro move, a tent camping site. Tent camping sites are really cheap. And do you know what you can put on a tent camping site? A 4-wheeled vehicle. I'm going to let you fucking marinate on that for a second, all you guys that bitch about how expensive it is to put campers in there.
And a trailer. So if you have an enclosed trailer that is your camper, as long as it's not an RV, you don't have to spend the $300 and some bucks.
Yeah, here's the deal, guys. U-Hauls aren't campers. Here's the deal, guys. A big fucking car trailer behind your car, behind your F-350, is not a camper. You can pay for a tent camping spot, which is super cheap. It's poverty rates, like $38 or something. You can pay for a tent camping spot and bring in a trailer. Or
not a ramp,
your SUV.
Not an RV.
Not an RV. Everybody bitches every year. Well, I can't believe it's $300 to bring my fucking RV. Well, don't hate the fucking game, dude.
I'm out.
Right. Just pay for a tent spot. Do you know how many people came by and checked our camping last year? I'm sorry. It seems to be you've got something there that resembles a pop-up in the back of your pickup truck. Can I see your camper pass? No, that never fucking happens. That has never happened in 25 years of doing this. Nobody's ever come up and said, "Oh, Tom, can I see your tent camping pass?" It's never happened. Why? Because after 5 p.m. on Friday, it's too fucking scary back there. There's no staff member in the world who wants to lose his life over a Jayco pop-up trailer.
Oh, I don't know. That one lady that always parks at that intersection, she might do it.
Now, first of all, that's Sue. And Sue's been doing this for at least 15 years. And I always give Sue a bottle of water.
Oh, yeah.
And I never give her a hard time.
She's always nice.
And I hand her what? My paper camping pass.
Mm-hmm. The papers, please.
I literally pull up, and she somehow is dealing with it, and she's out there, and she is rock hard and bulletproof, like that lady. Mm-hmm. And if you just give her a smile and show her a piece of paper instead of your fucking iPhone 3, right? And if you show her a piece of paper that says you're allowed to be camping or tent camping or whatever, she will be your friend all weekend long. She will literally wave at you every time you ride your piece of shit dirt bike in there. She remembers you. She's a super sweet lady that works that spot.
They're really not too hardcore about it, to be honest. I mean, there's so much traffic. Nice. At a certain point, it's kind of anything goes.
Well, the first time you run across her, she's going to be very cross at you because you don't have your shit together.
If you're holding a piece of paper that says you're supposed to be there,
and she's happy.
She's the happiest person ever.
Happy as can be.
Do you want to know how I know that that I'm doing it right, she's never been mad at me.
Well, the first time I rolled in,
Yeah.
I was as nice because I'm used to things being very casual, very. I don't want to say slow because that's not the right word for this.
It's not Barber.
It's not fucking Barber.
But she is. Well, no, Barber gets a little bit because I've been yelled at Barber.
Yeah, I know. Barber is one of those places where you got to have your QR code tattooed on your fucking forearm.
But she, the first time she kind of got up, like, hey, what do you do? Because I was coming in with a trailer or something because I was dropping off stuff for you. And I was like, well, I'm dropping off stuff for my boss. Well, where's your paperwork? It's, I don't know. My boss has it. And he's down there. And then we kind of talked for a little bit and she's like, well, okay, just go get it.
Yeah.
And that was fine. And then after I got in there and got everything done and we talked to her a little bit longer, she's like, oh, yeah, cool. Everything's fine. Everything's cool. She's waving, happy, all smiles. But it's that first time you're in and she's like, who are you and what are you doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
So, but anybody listening, don't be mean to her. At all. Don't get up to her face.
Don't be mean to anybody there.
Exactly.
I mean, everybody
They're doing a hell of a job.
Everybody that's there, what I think is crazy are those 18-year-old ninjas that they have doing traffic.
Oh, yeah.
Because how the hell can those kids stand in the middle of a 7-way intersection?
No, it's Thailand. It's Bangkok. It is
amazing.
Bikes everywhere.
It's amazing.
I'll tell you what, enough time. I mean, if you're just like, hey, I'm visiting my buddy, I'm just dropping off some ice, I'm in and out, you're going to get by.
You're going to be fine.
I mean, they might give you a hard time or a hassle, but they end up letting everybody go through. I mean, nobody gets turned around and has to go back to fucking where they came from.
But that being said, if you are not inside the property, if you are out on the road, you are only as fast as the slowest cocksucker in front of you. And that's where we tell you, this is a tip from your Unky Phil. Do not get there during the high congested times. When we have all the misfits in town and we're coming out on Thursday, because we have swap meet passes to get there on
if you
Thursday.
get there before noon on Thursday, that's no problem.
And we'll look and we'll be like, oh, you know what? We're going to be landing there. We're going to be hitting the front gate at literally 11 a.m. No, stop. Go get lunch. Go get a nice long 3 martini lunch downtown. Really, really enjoy yourself. Just simmer in some nice pulled pork and maybe a couple of big beers, and make yourself about 1:30 late. Because then, when you pull in that line, remember there are more than one way to get into that property, and know ahead of time if the west gate is going to be open or the north gate is going to be open. Because if you have the ability to use the north gate and you have printed out all your shit on paper, and you can use that north gate, which used to be called the motocross gate or whatever, and you can use the north gate and the north gate's open, that's the secret hack. That's like, I got my shit together, I'm going to the north gate. You go to that gate, there's nobody waiting to get in there. But you got to be careful because they close that gate sometimes at 3 or 4 p.m., sometimes at 2 p.m., right? But that gate's an easy way to get in. You're running against the traffic too, so you can make better time coming in because not everyone's going through that gate at the same time. So just be aware. It's a good thing to have your shit together. It's also a good thing to understand. Don't try to think that like the guys that all come down, they don't have any credentials for Thursday at all. They're not swap meet vendors. They got their pass that says they're allowed to be there Friday. And these are guys that are camping outside the property along the side of the road, and they're butthurt and angry that nobody would let them in on Thursday night. Well, yeah, because Thursday at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, they close the gate. Nobody else is coming in unless you have a wristband around your wrist saying that you've already been there and you just wandered into town for dinner. And if you do that, by the way, don't take your car, take your motorcycle. Because then when you come back in, you're going to pass all those dickheads that don't have their credentials for Thursday because you got your Thursday credentials around your wrist already. Your wristband's already there. Or you got a neck pass or whatever the fuck it is.
That is a hot weather thing. I was thinking that's the hack. It gets really hot. It's balls hot. Jump in your car, turn the air conditioning, and go for a drive. Like
always.
I did it the one year with Don Slicker. That was probably that year I was melting, and we grabbed some beers and just drove around, cranked the air, and then like when we had the high ace, and we were just driving around, had the air on, like, fuck it, take a little party, go see some of the places you don't see.
I don't think we burnt a half a gallon of diesel, but we kept ourselves comfortable for about 3 hours, and we pulled 6 people out of the mud.
Just trucking around.
Just plucking around in first gear. That was fine. And Oscar being the tail gunner back there with the fucking cinch strap was great. Yeah, that was super fun. The deal with AMA Vintage Days, you can buy tickets for one day. You can buy tickets for multiple days.
If you're coming in on Thursday or Friday and you're not going to leave, just buy a one day. But it's not a whole lot more expensive just to get the weekend.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that is something that it is best it is absolutely best to make sure that you do understand that they may not let you back in if you have a Thursday pass, or I'm sorry, a Friday pass, that if you think, oh, I'm just going to pull up and I'm going to buy another pass on Saturday or Sunday. We have seen them sell out where they've said, we're not selling any more passes on Saturday. And that has been a thing that has happened in the past. So it is not a lock that you'll be able to automatically buy an extra pass or an extra day pass.
It does seem to get a little bit bigger every year. I mean, last year was pretty
fucking mayhem, man. Yeah. It's fucking mayhem compared to how it was when it first started. It's just gotten fucking bonkers. Now, who is up on the rules of the fucking hair scramble?
Yeah.
What's the deal? So Gordon paid extra money.
Yeah. So if you're a racer, you pay like an extra $40 or something like a little bit of extra money, but it's all included. Like, I think it was like $100 for his camping and racing and everything. And it gets you in on Thursday.
Wow. That is
so
amazing.
If you sign up to race,
right,
even if you don't end up racing, you get in on Thursday and it's only like $40 more or something like that.
That's a good deal. I mean, that is a fantastic deal.
And I think, and the 40 might include your camping. So you get a weekend pass plus $40 and you're in.
Man,
but don't quote me. Look at the Mid-Ohio rules and everything.
I know that Nick did the hair scrambles, right? And I know that this year Nokomoto Pete is planning on doing the hair scramble.
Okay.
So this is a thing. It's a 1 hour race. It's a 3.5 mile woods loop that is not with which to be fucked. I did it not during the race. I went after, and I went before when I was reconning it. It is a fucking serious ass fucking hair scramble. That is not messing around. Like, do not go out there and be like, oh, I'm just going to, fake my way through this thing.
I'm going to ride a Honda Shadow.
The dude who fucking had my ticket was the guy that did it on a Trail 110. Right. The dude who did it on a Trail 110 and just was there. Like, every lap, I would watch these guys come down. I'd be like, that son of a bitch is still going. Balls as big as fucking church bells, that guy. But it is an interesting thing for somebody who says, I would like to taste some competition, but I don't have a racing license, but I don't have credentials to race, because I'm not a motocross racer. I'm not a this, that, or the other thing. Apparently, if you have a fucking pulse, you can pay $40 fucking and go and compete. Yeah. Fucking amazing. I mean, that is amazing. Super, super cool. And I guess this is the deal with that is there's a $75 off-road paddock pass for $75, and that's what beats the camper deal.
Okay.
So, like, instead of paying for the camper thing, you're going to pay for the paddock pass.
Yeah.
But as we talked about earlier, the camper is very expensive, and the paddock pass is $75.
Yeah, so maybe that's because he's bringing his RV. So maybe for $75, he's getting his RV.
And I'm going to read you the rules right now, so you will know in case you want to fucking thank Unky Phil for saving you about $600 fucking right now for listening to a stupid podcast. Here's the rules: an off-road paddock vehicle pass. And Sleep, you can throw this up if you'd like to. An off-road paddock vehicle pass will be required for off-road racing paddock parking. This is available to purchase during the pre-entry race registration. This pass allows the holder access to the off-road paddock, which we all ride through. It's right next to the fucking camping area, which includes overnight camping all the way through Sunday. Mm-hmm. Competitor off-road paddock vehicle passes must be presented at the time of entry to the facility along with weekend general admission. See what we're talking about? Have that shit printed out and have it with you so you can get into the back gate. Okay. Now,
number 3,
one vehicle, RV or RV with tow vehicle per pass. Ta-da! Yep. Okay, that's the pro move. That's officially the pro move. Pay your $40 for pre-race for your admission. Yay, you might get a number. You might live in infamy like Nick DeVito did for at least a quarter of a mile.
Hell, feel free to bring whatever piece of shit you want and go ride the hair scramble for 15, 20
Giddy
minutes.
up, right?
You can always bail out.
You can grid, right? Get it, game on. It'll be the closest thing to being a hero you've ever had, right until the point of impact. It'll be great. But the fact that you can have an RV in there, right? No entry to off-road paddock area without an off-road vehicle pass. No shit. The Ross Road Gate, that's the one I'm talking about. The Ross Road Gate is exit and re-entry only. So that's the one that once you're in, you get access to that motocross exit gate. And that's what you're going to use for the rest of the fucking weekend. Because why would you get in line with all the savages out in the big line?
Yeah, that's it too. You get to go in that Ross Road.
If you get the Ross Road gate, the Ross Road gate is the VIP pass.
Well, and here's the thing. Once you're in, you don't have to go into the motocross thing. You can go right over to the regular camping.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares at all. So Thursday, that racing starts at 2 p.m. That's your registration and tech inspection. I'm sorry. So 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So you can get in on Thursday.
Well, you can get on Wednesday too, because that's I think what's that? Oh, we don't want to let that one out of the bag.
Well, hold on. I just don't know about that. That's all. I don't know about that. So I don't know about that. That's something that Bruce knows about that I don't know about yet. So I'm not going to go sharing that information because that's fine. But I do know that if you want to be there on Thursday, you either need to be a swap meet vendor or you need to be a competitor. Now, if you don't have your AMA pass and you can't compete, out doing the thing that Moyne Khan did, right? And risk your life on a fucking racetrack, you can do this. Harris Scramble is the secret pass. That's the 13th step, should we say. Pretty fucking cool. I didn't know about that. I learn new shit every year, and it's pretty badass. The terrain at Mid-Ohio. Yes, do not bring your shoes and expect to walk the entire thing. If that's your plan, then cool, good. I hope you're good with your God, because you're going to be fucking miserable, because everything's far from each other. I mean, it's not like you got to go to a different city.
I think the worst surface is that gravel portion getting out of the campground. So you want to have something that you can ride on some pretty heavy sprawled gravel.
Yeah, like a Buddy 125.
Now having walked from the swap meet to the FEMA camp.
Yeah.
Because even you were like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah.
Well, the best deals are in the infield.
Well, of course.
The best deals are always in the infield, never the swap meet. That's my pro tip is if you want to buy something, buy it out of the middle.
Buy it out of the middle. The middle of the road. Literally the middle of the road.
Literally the middle of the road.
The middle of the road.
Because I almost bought a CB400 because I was tired of walking and I went, well, fuck this. I'll just buy that bike.
Look, there's a $600 bike that runs with a title.
Yeah. Like, fuck this.
I've done that before. Yeah, that's a thing that happens. Bring money. Bring cash.
Bring cash.
That's what works. Don't bring your credit card. Nobody cares about your credit card.
Venmo and Zelle might work.
If you are bringing, here's a pro tip. If you are bringing 18 motorcycles to sell, and you have 12 titles, here's a pro tip. Make sure that those titles are signed in the seller's block and notarized. Yes, a notary will notarize your shit if you don't know who the buyer is yet. Technically, they're not supposed to, but everyone does. There are notaries there. They're big old fat men with sunbirds walking around with pieces of cardboard strapped around their neck that says notary $5. Okay? You can track one of those guys down if you need them, but it is better to show up ready to play. Show up with your title already signed, and hey, maybe it's an open title. I don't know. I'm not the cops, right? But as long as it's signed and it's notarized, your life's going to be a lot smoother than when you run into the one picky fucker from Butte, Montana, who's like, I'm not giving you this money until that cocksucker's notarized. And then you got to go find the guy walking around with the notary stamp. Show up with your stuff notarized if you have intentions of selling it. Notaries, once something is notarized, it does not expire. You can get it notarized from Mid-Ohio, totally punk out, not sell the thing, and then sell it 10 years later on the same notary stamp.
Bikes with no title, it's a great place to go because there's people from Indiana and shit, they don't give a fuck about a title.
Yeah.
So they'll scoop up your bike at a reasonable price. And
I've had a lot of guys from other states that say, man, title just slows me down.
Ohio titles, we throw those away. They're nothing but a pain in the ass.
Pain in the ass, man.
If you do bring your title, they'll put it in a Ziploc bag and put it someplace where it's not going to fall out of your pocket or anything else. Protect it because it's going to rain or you're going to get ass sweat on it.
You're not going to projectile vomit on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Are Ohio titles delicious?
To mice they are. To mice they are. Don't leave them under the seat of a bike.
Yeah, if you're taking a bike down in Mid-Ohio,
they make a perfect fucking mouse nest.
Look for the title, write meow. And if you don't have one, go to the title bureau, pay the $6 or $8 and get a copy. Get a duplicate title right now before you go to Mid-Ohio. Because when you get down there, you might run into a stickler who's like, yeah, I'm not buying that bike without a title. I don't care who the fuck you are. It's a good idea if you're selling something to have a fucking title for it. Okay, other pro move. If you're buying shit. If you want to buy a 70s motorcycle at Mid-Ohio and you want to really get a screaming deal, get a really small 12-volt lithium battery. The smallest battery you can put in your pocket. A vast majority of 70s and 80s motorcycles will not fucking start if there's not a little bit of battery to support the coils.
No chooch.
No fucking chooch for your chotch. And you will watch a guy walk up to a bike, CB350, whatever, and kick that cocksucker 478 times, and it will not start. And you will know when you see that happen that you can negotiate the price of that bike down to a handy behind the dumpster, right? If it has a title. Because you know that when you hook that battery up to it, negotiate your price first. And that's a thing that you can do, and it's a thing I've done many times. Hey, you know what? It's clearly having a problem, but if I can get it started and everything else, I'll give you $300 for it. And then you go over, hook up your little tiny battery, your little lithium battery you got in your back pocket, hook that up, and then give her a couple of kicks. Hell, be bold. Use the electric starter. That thing might fucking start for you. Also, a small can of starting fluid is not a bad idea to have in your backpack. If that happens, he's going to realize that he's been played. Doesn't matter. You own the bike. That's the move. And I've done it many times. You would be shocked at the number of people who bring bikes down there that don't understand that they need 12 volts of solid electricity to fire, or 6 volts.
So what you're saying is when you're selling a bike and you see a guy walking down the aisle with a holster with a 12-volt battery, starting fluid, and tools.
Backpack. Yeah, backpack. Okay, John, every time John and I are working booths back and forth.
Yeah.
John pulls up to the booth. Under the seat of whatever John's riding is 6 cold beers, a can of starting fluid, something resembling a factory toolkit,
battery
and a battery gasoline. Right. Yeah, every fucking time. And he pulls up on that bike that he's been riding around for 2 days, and I'm the same exact way. When I go out foraging, whatever bike I'm riding has got that shit with me, because I know if I see an unusually good deal on a bike.
Oh, the jump box with the air compressor. I mean, that's invaluable.
Well, that is middle.
Pump up the tire. I mean, even if you got to push it, at least putting air in the fucking tires is a boner.
Yeah, that is a super boner.
Air compressor, portable, miniature, any kind of air compressor. You need to have that.
Having a little go-to-war bag for Mid-Ohio makes your life so much easier.
You know what makes it easier for me? Not showing up with any of that shit.
Yeah, that's also true. I mean, I bring a compliment.
Handle of vodka.
I bring a complement of tools there, but I'm not going to want to use them. I'm going to basically say, like, look, dude, I provided you with tools.
I think you pulled out a stopwatch the last time somebody handed me a tool.
I told you, actually, I remember the time I told you, do not put more than 20 minutes into this vehicle. And I said, Tom, I'm doing this against my better judgment. I will let you have at it, but not more than 20 minutes.
That was that blue SSR you were trying to sell, and it wouldn't start.
Yeah.
And we got it back, and the SSR sent us the parts, and it was
fine. It was a coil. Yeah, right. You couldn't have fixed it.
I couldn't have fixed it.
That thing was a fucker. We fucked around with that for a while.
Everybody did.
This is my point. Always be willing to admit defeat.
Yeah.
Because 9,000 people could have kicked that bike 18,000 times and it wouldn't have started.
And I could have had a cold drink instead.
Right. That's exactly right.
I just like to try to get a couple running while I'm there.
You all futzed around with that Buddy 125 forever to get it started. And I said, well, what does it need? He says, well, the key doesn't work. I said, fuck it, unplug it.
Yeah, unplug it. We don't need the key.
We don't need the keys.
Yeah, that was the first thing I said. I was like, yeah, fuck the keys, fuck
it.
Tom. Yeah, keep in mind, if the bike is at Mid-Ohio, if there's a bike that's for sale at Mid-Ohio, first question to ask yourself is, a reasonably prudent person might want to maximize their profit on this vehicle by selling it on something like Facebook Marketplace or some retail environment. So the first thing is you have to be a little bit cautious to say, like, why.
It is a dumping ground for bikes.
It is a dumping ground for bikes. So just be careful. So if you're not a pro gamer, if this is your first rodeo, we've had a lot of people show up there and like, oh my god, Phil, I just saw a KZ400 over in row 37 Double Bravo, and it's just perfect in every possible way. Have you heard it run yet? Well, he says it just needs a tune-up.
Ran one part.
Okay.
This is the reason why the only thing I look for is like the Italjet during the Piaggio years that has the 125 motor that the guy that's selling it is like, well, I don't know, man. It's just some piece of junk moped. And I'm like, cool. It's got an ET4 motor in it. Let's go. I
bought a Cushman. I literally bought a 100% complete Cushman GS at Mid-Ohio for $400 with a title. And I'm going to tell everybody at home I sold that bike for $7,500, and I didn't have to do anything to it.
But
those deals do exist at Mid-Ohio if you know what you're looking for.
Exactly.
If you know a little something that the guy selling it doesn't know, yeah, you might do okay. You might do great. It's a great place to buy mutant motorcycles that only you like. It's also a place where you can accidentally fuck up and buy a bike that's only cool at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah.
You can definitely buy your Mid-Ohio bike and sell it before you leave.
That's the game. I mean, that is the fucking game. The best game in the world is to buy something cool at Mid-Ohio, ride it around all weekend, and have Sunday somebody else pick it off.
Dude, I bought this Coleman mini bike, and it has like 4 cup holders. And a cooler on the back.
Yeah, don't be afraid to bring something and try to sell it, because that's what the whole fucking planet's doing.
Pie plates.
Yeah, pie plates. So make sure that if you're going to sell something, that you have some way to tell people how much you're asking for it. And also understand, if you think you're going to price your bike that you're selling, if you think you're going to price it, this is my bottom. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to negotiate. I want $1,000 for this bike, and that's all I'm going to take. Shut the fuck up. Go away. This is a $1,000 bike. You're going to have a bad day. You're just going to have a bad fucking day. I'm going to promise you. If you put $1,000 on your bike, you are going to get sick of old white men offering you $400.
Write 1,800, cross it out, put 1,500.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. You have to come into the game understanding that this is where you might learn something about high-speed negotiations.
I still, after you schooled the kids last time.
Do it every year.
And I think you should give a class on like
Nope.
We shouldn't do a stand-up?
No, why do I want to go out of business?
If you listen to this podcast, you've had the class a number of times.
I was going to say, we got 10,000 motherfuckers who listen to this podcast.
999.
All the tips, right? Yeah, they have all the tips. That's all they need.
Okay.
But Mid-Ohio is a place where what's on the handlebars, the price tag that's on there, doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
It just doesn't matter.
And the points are made up.
Also,
That's
don't
exactly
be
right.
afraid to offer other things besides money.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're
Like,
right.
I got
man.
$400
Sleepy will take weed all day.
Yeah, no, I've got my van I got for trading a mason jar of weed and $200.
This is yes.
Yeah.
There is a dark
Xbox
economy at Mid-Ohio.
Do you know how many Xbox 360s you can bring?
No. The dark economy is trail 70s.
Yeah.
True.
The dark economy is trail 70s.
So true.
The dark economy is trail 90s. The dark economy is weird little bikes that have
XR100s
no
all
value
day.
I mean, if you
else.
pick a nice 3 p.m. when it's 104 degrees outside and you have a fat bag of ice, you might be able to trade that for a fucking motorcycle.
Dude, I bought a CB750 on 2 bags of ice.
Did you guys were all present when I sold the guy the bike, and I literally sold the guy the bike, and he came up short on the cash, and I was like, bring me a 6-pack later on. And the guy came back and brought us a 6-pack, and he was never so happy in his fucking life, because that is the world that still exists there.
I have bartered labor for shrimp.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face facts. I bartered labor for for venison.
We also got
and
a
I came
BSA
out
running.
ahead.
We also got a BSA running for the cost of a T-shirt.
Exactly.
Right? Because Mid-Ohio is a home for a dark economy. And that's cool. And it's great to run into a guy that's like, hey, man, I don't have $600, but I have 3 Batavis mopeds or some nonsense, right? Well, yeah, if,
My wife's really attractive.
Sleepy, that's only going to work for you.
How much do you want for that $50 wife?
I brought one of my friends. There were a couple of years where I would bring lady friends to Mid-Ohio. And the one year I brought a lady friend to Mid-Ohio that was having a great time. And this is her first experience in anything remotely this fucking carnal, abusive retail, wholesale environment. And everything was going great until Meckelfish went out and tried to kill her. And she was just like, I just want to go ride around on a dirt bike. I want to ride around a dirt bike. And Meckelfish said, what?
Eat shit.
And Meckelfish took her out for a ride. And I came back and they were both They came back. Both of them were bleeding.
I had a softball-sized subdermal hematoma on my knee, man.
Oh, they came back.
Did you pull a Nick?
Gets all his ideas.
No, it was a stupid thing. I mean, we were riding on the. I had a DR.
I think you had a DR 650 or DR 250. Yeah,
one.
Right.
And I just went, and it was wet. It was in the morning, and I was on the side of a hill. I was going around that one place where you can ride along the fence. We were doing the fence line ride, as you do, which is a great thing. That's a little event. Do the fence line. Just ride the fence line and see where it takes you. Good way to see the track.
Yep.
But I came and I was cutting across the one hill where it's kind of a downhill. And all of a sudden, like last second, I saw that this little ditch was actually like 3 feet deep. And just for an instant, I couldn't stop. I just instinctively bumped the front brake, and it went wham. I mean, it just literally was like somebody threw us to the ground, because I was like, if it wasn't 3 feet deep, I would have just given a little bit of gas and we'd have bounced through it. Right. But it was like, oh no, with two of us, it just was enough to make me react a hair.
That was her Friday morning. Like, I just want to go ride a dirt bike.
Yeah. And then the fucker wouldn't start, and then we had to play all this, and I was like,
It was Sydney. So it was hilarious, and so she was all like chipper, and she's like, "It's a great day. It's going to be awesome. I just want to go ride a dirt bike." And they disappeared for 40 minutes, an hour.
It was great.
Whatever.
We were having a good time. But, I was riding and there was a rooster tail of water in the wet grass. And I was trying to this is a little dicey.
I mean, you're not a dickhead. Yeah, you're not a dickhead. But when they both came back, they both had the look of defeat on their face. And Sydney was like...
I broke Sydney.
And Sydney was like, oh man, I didn't think we were going to crash. And I was like, oh really? And she goes, but it was really fun and John took care of me. It was awesome. And I was like, yeah, well, you picked the right guy.
I got
so
you
my
back.
sister's coming for... My younger sister is coming to Mid-Ohio.
She's coming to Mid-Ohio.
Should I tell her to listen to this episode?
She should listen to this episode. It's a really good episode for people who are coming to Mid-Ohio, especially for the first time.
So what's your sister look like?
She's bringing her boyfriend.
What does he look like? Remember, Sean's going to be there.
Actually, it's a new boyfriend I've never met. Who knows?
Hey, Moto Hub wants to pre-buy one of your black cats.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad move. I think right now our black cat ratio right now is we have 3, but I think we have 1 running, or do we have 2 running?
We have 1 running.
Right.
The other 2 are going to be easy. I mean,
we're going to find out, right? Yeah. But the other one, the one black cat was so super filthy, and it looked like a dog had been chewing on the seat. So that'll
be the one that runs the best,
right? You know it will. You know it's going to be the best one. And the good one on that one's faster because the front brake doesn't work.
Perfect.
So that's going to be the better. That's going to be the one to have, because if your front brake's not working, it can't throw you down.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. It is better to not use the front brake anywhere in the middle.
Oh, so I shouldn't have fixed the one on the fling poo.
There you go. So yeah. So there you go. Anybody else got a pro tip for Mid-Ohio? What's your favorite food when you get to Mid-Ohio? What do you think is going to be your go-to for caloric consumption over the weekend?
Grilled cheese, bitches.
Well, my hands down is, Bruce always puts out a steak dinner.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I showed up one time, he had an extra steak. He's like, you want a steak? I'm like, yes, I do.
Yes,
it was delicious.
Yep. Yeah. That is having a plan. And I'm going to tell you, if you show up to Mid-Ohio and you don't have a meal plan, you might be sad when you realize that you're hungry at the same time 27,000 other people are hungry, and that you're all standing in line for the same French fry guy or hot dog guy or pulled pork guy. Because I've gone down there and I've seen people waiting around the block for food.
There's a great ice cream joint back up by the Wall of Death now.
By the Wall of Death, there's a fantastic.
Absolutely.
There's one of the vendors that's set up there. You cannot rely on, what we used to rely on was the midnight pizza guy in the golf carts.
Oh, yeah.
The Domino's pizza guys. You can't rely on those guys anymore.
Who had the gyro?
That was Pete from Moto, who literally went into town, bought a metric shit ton of pizzas, and brought them all back at 29 miles an hour.
That was amazing.
Yeah, that was a pro move, Pete. By the way. If you want to make friends, show up with a shit ton of pizza.
We kept saying Pete from Moto. I'm like, wait a minute, Pete.
That's Pete
Why
from
does this sound
Moto.
familiar?
Did he make money?
Pete and Swiggy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean, he wasn't giving up $600 for the
He's
pizza.
not opening.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Amazon, but yeah.
But I'm saying, it might be a good investment opportunity.
It's a fucking great investment opportunity.
$5 a
is what
slice,
it is.
people would buy that all day long.
Well,
man.
and you only need to get away with it until the fucker's empty.
Right.
Because I got in trouble for years selling water and selling Gatorade out of my booth. So you want to know how to piss them off? Cut into their fucking overhead. Yeah. Cut into their margins. We brought 2 body coolers, big motherfucking coolers, full of ice and full of water bottles and Gatorade bottles. And I had a lady friend helping me out that year in a bikini, and she was out there reeling them in, right?
I still can't believe you got Liza to do that. I made Dan Starfish.
Again. It was, yeah. So she was out there in the bikini with little skulls on her boobies, and she was out there, and people were just... And I had a super soaker, and I would replenish the super soaker out of the icy cold cooler water. And about every 20 or 30 seconds, I'd light her up. And it was hot. She appreciates that, right?
That was nice of you.
It was extraordinarily nice of me. But it was getting people's attention with the screaming and the yelling.
Yeah.
And but they would roll up, and we'd be like, yeah, we weren't selling the shit we brought. We brought parts. We brought helmets. We brought T-shirts. We brought hats. We brought jackets. We brought all kinds of shit from the shop that we were looking at this as a unique opportunity to reach out to some new customers. And we were selling fuck all. Nobody wanted to buy shit. We did sell a fuckload of Ranwin Park T-shirts. People did like those. But other than that, those two coolers that were chock-a-block full with water for $1 and Gatorade for $2. Now, those are very fair prices. Mid-Ohio did not approve of that operation. And so a couple of times, people came by in golf carts and said, hey, you can't do that. And I'm like, hey, man, if people look like they're having a hard time, far be it from me to not want to help them out. I mean, you've seen the conditions here. And you guys are charging $5 for a bottle of water, so it's just
people
not cool.
kept bumming water off me. I just had to make I'm like, I'm just trying to get some money so I can go back and buy more water.
I'm going to go buy more water.
Well, to be fair, to be fair,
I did.
I got nothing.
Okay, Tom. Lay it on us.
So what you fouled up here is that you were using the cooler water in the Super Soaker on your friend, your lady friend here.
Yeah.
And then selling Gatorade at $1.05. What you should have done.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Taking a $5 donation.
Yep.
And
let them light her up with the Super Soaker, and they get a bottle of water for trying.
Exactly.
Yeah, we thought about it. And so what we did was we changed the sign to say coolant.
Coolant.
And the sign said coolant because then you're just selling motorcycle supplies. And that's what you're there to do, is you're there to sell motorcycle shit. So we sold water coolant.
What's wetter than water?
And what's wetter than water is Gatorade.
It has electrolytes.
Because it has glycol in it. It's full of electrolytes.
It has what motorcycles crave.
It has what plants need. It has what plants crave. And so when we changed it to coolant, the guy came by from AMA, the guy came by from Mid-Ohio, actually, from the race car track. And he saw it and he goes, I'm not even going to yell at you. And so he kind of gave us a little bit of a pass, and then some other person came by and shut us down. So, that is the thing is, have a plan for nutrition, have a plan for sustenance and water.
So what if you had a bunch of parts that you just wouldn't want to take home, and you're like, parts, small part, $1 with a free water.
With a free water.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to tell you, you're way out in front of it.
There are ways around it.
And had I learned that, or had I experienced that resistance on, Friday morning, right? But the point is, we had a whole day of getting away with it to really lean into it.
A $2 sticker that includes a 3 bottle of Gatorade.
Well, exactly. Right.
We did at Barber. We did coffee with donation.
Coffee with donation. Yeah.
So because the coffee truck wasn't up, and I had the 12-cup coffee maker, and it just kept rolling.
Oh, hell yeah!
And like everybody would come by and go, "Hey."
Yeah.
So with donation gets you around a lot.
Yeah, I think a $5 donation gets you a slice of pizza there. Because when the pizza van would show up, when the Domino's pizza truck would show up, it was like $25 for a shitty, medium-sized pizza. So definitely not.
MotoHop got it. He said if you buy a random bolt.
Where every bolt comes with a free bottle of water. That's just the way we work around here.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's pretty fair as far as that goes.
But that's always been the thing is vendors spend a lot of money to come in there and do things like
they do.
Sell pizzas and ice cream and bullshit.
Yeah.
And the problem is when we come in there and we're like, I bought a rack of water. Yeah. And I'm going to give this thing away for $1 a piece because that's what it's worth.
Sure.
We're cutting into them, which makes it all look like shit. Yeah. But at the same rate, you shouldn't pay $5 for a bottle of water.
In the olden days, I had a 10-gallon water cooler that I would fill up with ice and water, and I just have free water.
Free water.
And people really love that.
I mean, that's why we run the giant orange igloo construction worker thing, is because it's always got water in it.
Plus,
and if you come by with a cup, we will give you water.
It is a very, very good idea to stay hydrated. This thing is fucking a very good idea. Okay, word of caution regarding barrel racing. You don't know what barrel racing is if you haven't been to Mid-Ohio. I think you know what barrel racing is, but if you have not been yet to Mid-Ohio, it's a different flavor of barrel racing. One, I have seen small children excel at this sport to the point where they are apparently invisible and bulletproof. They go out, they do 700 laps, they're untouched, they come back in, they are full of smiles, they've had the greatest time of their life. And for that, I say it is one of the greatest events on the planet. Yay. But I've also seen 55-year-old men go out there in a fucking golf cart and nearly kill themselves and others. Same event, different outcome.
Well, there's been times where you have said 4-year-old kids on the inside with said older sisters 3 deep on another bike with a dude and an Africa twin doing a wheelie next to them.
Yeah.
Like it's
4 deep in the turn.
Yeah.
And they all got, and you know what? 4 deep in the turn, and all 4 of those people were no risk to each other.
Nope.
Yet there is a time when one guy can go out there on his Banshee he just bought that he has no experience with, decides he's going to turn some hot laps on that 2-stroke 350 and nearly take out everybody on the track and all the people watching.
Well, and then the ruts that get going, like at night and stuff, it can get interesting.
The berm shot around the far turn was so bad that a lot of bikes couldn't make it through it because it was so trenched out that your pegs would grab.
Yep.
So it was dangerous. There's a lot happening. Keep your head on a fucking swivel. If you're in the barrel racing area and you think, you know what, I've only got so much life left in me, I'm going to go take a few laps. Wise the fuck up. Settle down. Take an outside line, right? Take an outside line. Don't go out there all pastrana. Go out there slow and keep it sedate and take a few fucking laps.
Yeah, you got to get in. You got to start outside and then pull yourself in.
Do not start from 0 miles per hour and see, look, there's a gap. They're going faster than you think they are.
And if you just listen to this and you get there on Thursday and you're out there at 3 p.m. when it's butt-ass fucking hot and you're like, these guys, what the fuck? There's 2 people going around the barrels.
Yeah.
Okay, then go ahead and do anything you want during that
period. Do a
whole
bunch of laps.
Read the room.
But when you see 650 people standing around the circle and then just smoke of dust emanating from the whole area.
Plus, the later in the day you get...
Did you just smack him in the face?
I did.
Some of those bikes might be alcohol fueled, you know.
Oh, no.
I
took laps on Thursday night. They were delightful. And, you know, the terrain was fine. I took laps on Friday afternoon. I couldn't see the other barrel.
Oh, it literally was.
It had dusted up so bad.
The fear and loathing freaking dust storm.
It was so fucking bad. I couldn't see shit. And I realized that I was out there foot down sideways and I was getting passed.
Oh, yeah.
And I was getting passed by children.
Dude, I finally retired. Yeah. This shit gets so gnarly that like I retired and I just FPV it now. Yeah. I fly a drone over there and race them with the drone.
Racing with the drone is a lot safer for you.
It's like you said, you could be killing it out there just say on like an XR100 or something.
Exactly.
You know, like putting it sideways around the barrel. But then there's the guy on the Banshee that can outgun you.
Well, the problem is when Team Monster shows up with their side-by-side, they're six deep side-by-side.
Well, and that is something that I got into when we had... come on, Phil. Haley Bell. So Haley Bell was out there, and Haley Bell had done 658 laps on the SSR 125. Mm-hmm. She ran that out of gas. She came back. She grabbed the Benelli TNT 135 with the knobbies on it. She took that out, which is a totally different technique, and she mastered that. And then I went out to chase her around on the trail, the Hunter Cub. So I went out to, embarrass myself on that fucking thing. And then I was like, screw that, and came back in and got a better bike. And when I went out, somebody came out on a 700 fucking horsepower side-by-side. What I would jokingly call a trophy truck of the side-by-side world, the world's most overpowered golf cart.
The guy that tried to drive down the thing and it was too wide. Oh, God.
But this guy came in and he was just foot on the floor in a drift for all 360 degrees. The problem was there were dudes out there that are 70 years old on their fucking Transalp, that are just having a good time doing some corners. And these guys aren't bad riders.
The guy on the Tenere, though, was like doing wheelies.
The guy on the Tenere was fucking killing it. But when the guy comes out and he's literally, honestly 12 feet wide when he's diagonal, and he's going through and he is just bulldozing people. And I saw the guy coming. I swung way the fuck out into the pedestrian zone because I saw it literally. He came up in the corner of my eye in the turn, and I was like, oh shit, he's going to be on Haley in like 2 seconds. And he hung behind Haley for about 100 feet. And then he was like, oh, I'm going to pass her on the inside. There is no inside. There's a fucking barrel, dude.
Yeah.
This is not, nobody's going to give you a trophy. Nope. You don't win barrel racing, right? You don't win barrel racing. And he came up on her on the inside. She looked over at him, and she did issue a string of profanities, and she gave him the line right? Because who wants to fucking negotiate with a 1,400-pound fucking side-by-side?
After talking about the pants cannon last time,
yeah.
I kind of feel like we need a dildo cannon to fire at these fucking guys.
It's just one of those, and Pete nailed it. Pete just said something that was so fucking prescient. Read the fucking room, man. And if you got Johnny Thunder's fucking side-by-side like we saw last year, these things are 8 feet wide. Yeah. They're on a 36 lift off-road racing suspension.
Porta axles and stuff. Porter axles.
Exactly.
Yeah, portal axles and the whole deal.
This isn't the fucking, dunes, man.
And they're trying to fit down an aisle that is literally one golf cart wide.
And then get mad at people because they won't pack their tents up to let him go down the aisle.
Yeah. And that guy was pissed that people had loaded into our campsites behind him to park their bikes in campsites where bikes are meant to be parked.
Right.
Because, now all of a sudden the road is no longer 10 feet wide. The road is now 8 feet wide. And it's crazy. He can't go through it. Right?
It's crazy keeping like a road 4 or 5, 6 feet wide at a motorcycle event.
Right.
And you're literally driving into Kentucky Corner. Like the wrong way into fucking corner.
If you're not sure what's going on there, here's a tip I learned. Reconnaissance. When in doubt, send a scout. If you're a young man on your first date, remember Unky Phil said that. When in doubt, send a scout. This is going to save you a lot of trouble. I promise you, had these guys parked back where there was open parking spaces, open camping spaces, whatever, and got on their fucking LPCs, their leather people carriers, and walked that shit out, got back into the corner, they'd realize there was one way in and no way out.
But that's not their
People
thing.
were ditching their shit right in our campsite, golf carts and stuff, and
Becky was
pulling into my campsite trying to park their bikes. I'm like, no, bro.
Becky was putting out what's the wheel spikes that the cops use? She was lining in the front of the thing with that, so you wouldn't park in a fucking.
I had to build a wall of bikes in front, park all of our bikes. So they're like, no, I want to still have a campsite.
But here's the thing: when that dude goes to Wellsville or he goes to Windrock or something like that. He's the guy.
He's the guy.
Like he shows up with this monster fucking thing and he pulls in and whatever action's going on, people clear the way and he pulls up and they're like, fuck yeah, woo.
93,000 LEDs, motherfucker.
Yeah, and they're like, this guy paid $100,000 for his fucking thing. Right. But at Mid-Ohio, nobody gave a fuck.
Nobody gives a fuck.
So that pissed him off, first of all, because nobody was jerking off on his stupid vehicle.
Well, and how about all the guys in the BMW touring rigs who showed up and they rode there from Argentina or somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And they all showed up in deep mud, in bad conditions, all these guys, some of them 2-up, on vehicles that I can best describe as authentically large and huge and fucking luxurious, right?
Right.
And they showed up and they rode through that baby head gravel and they rode through all those weird fucking whoops to get back to our corner of the campsite, little FEMA camp that we got going on. And I looked up and all of a sudden, giant 1,600cc motorcycles, a flotilla of them had come in like it was the fucking fleet come in, Fleet Week. And they all showed up and they get off their bikes and they're peeling off, layers of arrow stitches. They're peeling off all kinds of riding gear. And I was like, these guys just navigated this entire thing on aggressive long distance touring machines, right? You don't need God's off-road vehicle to get anywhere at Mid-Ohio. As anybody will tell you who's hung out with us, a Buddy 125 will get you anywhere you need to go on that property, including the hill climb.
Including into town and back.
Well, think about this. Think about this. That dude brought that fucking thing with probably an F-250 or some kind of a fucking 2500
ranch, baby,
on a big fucking trailer and dragged all that shit to a motorcycle event.
I'm going to also tell you something. That vehicle was wider than the state allows you to put on a trailer. So he took the wheels off of that to put it on a trailer and bring it to Mid-Ohio, and then he put the wheels on it so he could drive it around Mid-Ohio.
It was fucking stupid.
It was stupid. It was ridiculous. And it was just that whole look at me factor. And again,
what gave you that idea? The 1,700 fucking speakers or the 2,727 LEDs on it?
Well, if you want to get something banned at Mid-Ohio, you got to try pretty fucking hard because this is the place where 8-year-old kids can run free on 2-strokes. Mid-Ohio is pretty fucking bulletproof.
Yeah.
But if you want to get something banned, the only time I've seen anybody really get super duper hurt in Mid-Ohio is when a guy got bopped out of a golf cart and got his head ran over.
Yeah.
Right?
He's okay, by the way.
He was back. Yeah.
He's back. Okay. But I mean, again, That didn't happen in the pit races, or that didn't happen in the barrel races. That didn't happen on the racetrack. That happened literally in a golf cart. Let's see how fast this thing can go.
And you know what's funny? To prove, you had said a long time ago, like don't like at Mid Ohio at the event, don't start repeating shit unless you absolutely know it. So that day we had heard, because we were down at the bottom, we had heard that the dude got murdered at barrel racing.
Telephone game was out of control.
Then he got murdered at the drag racing.
Right.
Then he was running from guys security
right,
chasing him because he had a pizza or something.
Right.
It was like we heard every version
story
of it
in the world.
And then finally, like the next day, we talked to the cop on the Kimco scooter or whatever she was, or four-wheeler.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh no, he was just an asshole that went too fast and turned.
He flipped it in a corner."
Yeah, so it had nothing to do with the barrel racing get shut down. Nothing to do with all this other shit. It was funny how
is it that we can be in a place where we have a ramp in front of our place? This is not a ramp on it. Mm-hmm. We have a guy going past us 4,397 times on a 2-stroke triple-powered mini bike.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Who's about 71 years old. Mm-hmm. Okay? And he's going past us at Mach 3. A lot. And nobody gets hurt.
Dude, we have pictures of every one of us 3 feet in the air in front of our tents.
Right?
Well, not a ramp. Not a ramp.
Not a ramp. But the point is,
I don't think I'm allowed to jump this year.
Controlled chaos.
You came 1 inch from not being Johnny Mac.
Controlled chaos is a thing, but Hunter S. Thompson said, "What? Control your high, right?
Yeah.
Control your roll." And that Mid Ohio is a really good place to do it because I got my scar. I mean, I got my Mid Ohio stitches in a very embarrassing way. Like I fucked up. I know I fucked up.
You're going to go home with scrapes and bruises.
Yes,
doubt.
you will. Absolutely. You're going to go home with an Excedrin headache. You're going to go home really fucking dirty. Right?
So if a wheelie like this is at 12 o'clock, when you jump and then you land like this and roll it out, it's not really a stoppie. What would that? Because John kind of created a new thing.
I mean, we called it nerfing. When I was a kid, if you nerfed it was when you'd come down on the front end.
You didn't crash.
I did that. I went too far. He
over rotated.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
no, the one I got, you were like this. You went up and went like that. That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay, maybe.
I saw the one guy do a straight up flying W. Like, I mean, it was amazing. The dude had a flying W going on a bike that I can best be described as 70 cc's.
Right.
And I have no idea how him and that bike got 4 feet in the air enough that he landed on the front wheel and rode it out on a 10-inch wheel. I have no idea how that happened.
There were kids hitting a jump over by the mosh pit. Mm-hmm. I swear to God, they were over everybody's heads.
Yeah.
There was like, all of a sudden you just see this bike.
Well, the mosh...
Like, holy fuck.
The mosh pit ramp was terrifying.
Yeah.
The mosh pit ramp changed to the point where it ended up being ramps, like 2x12 boards, all put together, that were about 10 feet long, right? So it went from being a 4x8 sheet of plywood.
They went Evel Knievel fast.
They did go Evel Knievel fast. And then nobody even mathed out a landing. It was just like
into the crowd,
over there,
into the crowd.
Right?
What's
and
the
it
mosh
was like,
pit? Come on, man.
Gravity will dictate.
So how are we going to know where to put the other ramp? Other ramp? We only have one thing. It's the point of impact.
What do you mean?
And he brought it. Yeah, we didn't budget for another ramp.
Hey, it's a mosh pit. Aim for the hippie.
Oh my God. It was a great mosh pit. I will say that. It was an absolutely splendid mosh pit. No,
on a hill,
no
too.
notes. Yes, exactly. Right.
Incline mosh pit.
And well, what I thought was great is it gave you stadium seating on a dance floor. And I've never had a stadium seating dance floor before. So you could dance up, you could start dancing up here and get a good head of steam going down in towards the band. So by the time you got near the stage, you had to cut a really hard left to not end up on stage. And the band was having none of that. So that was a pretty good show. I had a good time with that. That was cool. And then it was fun too because you get down there and you're like, okay, this is great. I've never had that experience at a motorcycle swap meet before. And you're like, oh, this is great. They have a wall of death. No. The wall of death is dangerous for one guy. The mosh pit over there is dangerous for everybody. Like, it's equal opportunity. Yeah. Pretty fun.
Right. So bring the Pikachu costume.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You might want to buy bring a bike that you can do the lap of history. That's a lot of fun doing a couple laps around the track.
Make the donation. Here's my recommendation: $10. Make the donation. Get your schedule figured out. Figure out. They do it more than once, and it's never one lap. It's always multiple laps. But here's the trick. I have a tip from your Unky Phil. Stage yourself behind Liza Miller. Liza will probably be riding her Benelli TNT 135 with knobbies, so she doesn't have much corner speed. I'm going to recommend stage yourself behind Liza. Liza has one goal, and that is to win the lap of history. She wants to catch the checker on that one pretty badly. Last year, the only person that gave her shit was Ralph Technow because he thought he should ride with the guest of honor, like with the, with David Aldana. He thought he should pass David Aldana, I think was what he was thinking.
The only thing I want to say about your bikes is that you cannot be leaking anything. I had to sit there. I was running my bike so the motor would stay hot, so the gas dripping on the engine would evaporate off. So I didn't get a puddle underneath it. Because then the guy beside me got DQ'd because he was dripping a little gas.
Dripping? Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, so you were literally hoping for the very fine balancing act.
Yes, I was playing that game.
Playing the game between...
And standing in front of it and kind of hiding it.
I want the gas to
hit. 10 different people will look at your bike.
And evaporate.
Yes.
But not catch on fire.
Yeah, I'm like, my battery's just... I don't want to shut it off, so I kept it. And every once in a while there'd be a...
John Leota took out the fucking the death fucking skunk, some weird Chinese fling poo heritage thing, but it's got the big weird beach bars on it and all that bullshit. Some horrible fucking Chinese bike that showed up,
and it can be yours.
It doesn't matter, but I would never try to sell that bike to any fucking buddy. But John got it in his head that he wanted to take that reckless, dangerous piece of brand new Chinese shit. And he wanted to go take it on the lap of history, which meant we're going to go 50, 60, 70, or 80 in the straights. And he went out on that thing, and the handlebars are this fucking wide. It can't fit through a fucking open barn door. It's a stupid scooter. And he went out there, and I guess he caught a tank slapper. Which, when your handlebars are beach bars, that's terrifying.
Well, when it's literally the cheapest change you can put on a bike.
On 12-inch wheels, right? Wheels. So I guess at maximum velocity, he caught a tank slapper that made him see 3 different gods.
Bearings were from a fucking 2-wheel dolly.
Oh, yeah. Fucking just trash of the highest order. And so he went out, and I guess he nearly tried to fucking delete himself from the food chain.
What took you out? A BMS.
Right. Some fucking
BMS
badass
heritage.
BMS heritage, some piece of shit that he was on.
We were 2 up on the KLR.
You were 2 up on the
Piper
KLR?
It was good experience.
That's a good experience. I really like that.
I got to be careful with that.
I haven't done it in a few years because my problem is I will start drinking too early. Yeah. And I will not put myself on a racetrack where there's other humans if I'm not sober.
I wasn't drinking at all.
Right. I know. I was watching.
Well,
you were very carefully avoiding the alcohol.
Last year, not last year.
We're bad influences.
Not this year much.
I mean, we start with a case of Kirkland's Best. So.
It's just one of those things where I will get 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock drunk at noon at Mid-Ohio. It will creep up on me super fast. And that's the only thing when I'm dangerous at that moment is I'm going to buy dumb shit. I'm going to make that stupid move. I'm like, you know what? I've really never had. I've really never owned one of those.
You've never had a W650, and yet here we are now.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
And I remember when you were like, I'm going to pay $4,000 for this. And I was like,
I was just feeling my minerals. I hadn't spent anything that whole weekend. And I bought a W650 that has not run right.
Because even I went through it. I went through it. It ran great.
Well, I think it's because his dad has an accent.
It didn't.
His dad had the proper accent.
He was using British tools on a Japanese motorcycle.
The funny part is I literally got it running. Like, I rode it up and down Lorraine. It ran great. And I gave it back to Phil. And Phil's like, this thing runs like crap still.
It never ran great. I rode that bike a dozen times. Yeah. And every time I rode that bike, it had a dead spot that would just move around. And it'd be like, okay, there's nothing between 1,800 and 2,600 RPM. But that's good. You'll never need that. Fuck. Right? And then Tom laid hands, and you're like, okay, well, that sorted itself out. Yeah. And, you have to buy the world's most expensive air filters. It's just...
it just became this weird rolling thing.
It was not a good experience. And ultimately, that was what happened, is I had I'd made it through the whole weekend, ain't bought shit. So I was like, look at me, I'm awesome. I didn't spend any fucking money. I'm great. That's awesome. That's cool. And I felt bad because he brought that bike out and he didn't want to take it home.
It was at this point Bill knew he fucked up.
Fucked up. And I did fuck up. And he's a great guy. I'm not saying anything bad about he's not a great guy.
It's a beautiful bike.
But that bike, from the day I bought it, it had to be full choke and a fucking struggle. Like, it was a struggle to make that bike get to the shop. And then the struggle just moved around. You know, it was just like everything on the bike. And now we're into it for about an extra $500 more than when I bought it. And it's still not what I would consider to be reliable. Like, it's still a bag of fucking misses. It's still like...
Sounds like it needs to go back to Mid-Ohio.
It sounds like about 1.5 carburetors. Yeah. Yeah, about 1.5 carburetors. And what's funny is that they say, buy low, sell high. I bought high.
Yeah.
And right now...
Make it up in volume.
Right. Lose a little on every deal.
Maybe if Nick could get that one in New York and you can rob some parts out of it.
Stolen one?
Might be worth a drive out just to grab.
Here's what I can tell you guys. And this is what I'm going to say about Mid-Ohio. This is a bad year if you're going to take a bunch of bikes to sell. Read the fucking room. Read the fucking room, because right now, if you haven't been on Facebook Marketplace lately, think about the last motorcycle you bought. Think about what you paid for it. Look it up on Facebook Marketplace right now. And even the crazy, I'm asking stupid high prices for the bike are way too low right now. Even that, like, I'm just going to start the price up here and let people bring me down. Those prices are way too low right now.
Well, if you look, so I don't know why, but somebody was talking about the Sportster, so I looked into them, you know?
Yeah.
And so whatever they have, whatever the Nightster is or whatever.
The new Nightster.
Even new bikes. So
brand new, $99.99.
Yeah, it was $13.99 2 years ago.
$99.99.
Yeah. So like new
Triumph
bikes
did the
prices
same thing.
are going
Triumph
way down.
lowered their prices. Every Moto Guzzi that's out there right now at the dealership has $2,000 off on the bike. Don't look for the coupon on the website. Call your fucking dealer like an adult. And I promise you, your dealer, if the bike is in their showroom, don't make them order the cocksucker. They're going to find you $2,000 off on the bike. I'm going to promise you that money's out there. We just did it for a guy that bought a V85 TT Travel. Every company right now, every fucking motorcycle company that's selling motorcycles has got some crazy, stupid deals going on. And that is not limited to retail. It is absolutely happening in Facebook Marketplace and wherever else you want to buy used bikes. So this is a really bad time to be going into Mid-Ohio going like, I've got these 3 motorcycles I paid too much money for last year, and I'm going to liquidate them at Mid-Ohio. Well, liquidating's great if you want to lose about 60%. Right? Do not go in there and get pissed off when nobody wants to give you $6,000 for the bike you paid $6,000 for last year. The market has been shot in the fucking foot. It is not pretty out there. It's pretty bad.
However, if you're looking to buy, it's a perfect time.
It's a great time to buy.
It is pretty bad.
It's pretty fucking bad. It is fucking awful. And yeah, you want to buy a Harley-Davidson Sportster for $2,500? There's 10 of them on Facebook Marketplace right now. Yeah. That is not a hard bike to find. If I just had somebody hand me the keys to a Harley-Davidson Sportster and say, get what you can out of it, sell it for me, you picked the wrong time.
No.
You picked you're a year late. This is not the time to want to sell any motorcycle.
Well, we talked about that last week. We were like, Chinese scooter and or Harley. That's your option for $2,500.
I can sell you the BMS Heritage, or I can sell you a Sportster. Which one do you want?
It is really fucking low right now. The market at the moment has been shot in the fucking dick right
you know
now.
What?
Nobody's spending any money.
You know what might be cool though? In like 30 years, like there'll be some documentary like Sportsters were so cheap that young men started to buy them and modify them to
that's absolutely. That is.
I was just thinking in my head, you just need the right move. There just aren't any movies that glorify motorcycle riding anymore.
Come on.
Like, get the hipster movie. Like,
bike riders.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never had a motorcycle. Man, this seems like it'd be fun. You know what? I'm going to try to ride this bike across the country.
They need to remake Cool as Ice and have like whatever the Gixxer was, because when that movie came out, every Gixxer sold, even though it was so cheesy, dude. How many guys?
This is zero, get with the hero, man.
Yeah. How many guys said, do you have any fluorescent yellow GSX? That motorcycle
costs more than your house.
Yeah.
And that was the line in the movie, and I was like, that motorcycle's $43.99.
Yeah. And with the paint job, $35.99.
How bad off are you? BMW 1996 BMW R1100 RTL. Everything's perfect. $2,300.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that green one I had was that green one. The James Bond bike was like $1,800.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, it looked gorgeous.
R1100s are right now. R1100s are between $1,200 and $2,500. That run.
Oil and hex heads are just the bottoms dropped out of
it.
It
is totally gone. It is absolutely fucking gone. 2008 BMW R1200 GS with 22,000 miles on it. It was at 5,900. It's been dropped to 4,200.
Wow.
Right? And that's for an R1200 GS.
Yeah.
Pretty good bike for not too much money.
Hey, speaking of BMWs, weren't you at the homeland of Mecca BMWs recently?
I did, or I was. Yeah, I went down to Nashville for the BMW MOA National Rally. Just outside of Nashville in Lebanon.
How was that?
It was good. There was like 5,000 people there.
You seem really excited about it.
It was hot. It was hot as fuck.
He is the appropriate amount of excited about the BMW motorcycle rally.
I got up on.
Yes, I have traveled there.
I got up on Sunday morning and rode all the way home in one shot.
You did?
Yeah, I wasn't going to stop. And yeah.
It must be hard to focus on motorcycles with all the attractive women at a BMW rally.
Yeah, right.
Well, they bring so many beers at the same time.
That is true.
What'd you win at the rally?
I won a door prize. I won a moto presser, air compressors, 12. I don't know, 12.
Again, you sound fucking over the moon.
So enthusiastic about this rally.
It wasn't an air conditioner, so fuck it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was. Well, you see your like name on the door prize list, or you see like your numbers up there, and I'm like, oh, I think that's my number, and then I pull the thing out of my pocket. I'm like, yeah, I won. So then you have to go into the room. They have all these wonderful prizes. There's like a new Aerostitch suit, and there's like sets of tires and like expensive shock absorbers, and then so then you have to reach into this bag and pull out another like a
to find out what your gift is.
Tile, and then that is a sign. Well, and then they bring you your sticker pack or your coffee cup or something.
Oh, that sucks.
No, they gave away 3 motorcycles down there.
They did?
Last weekend, yeah.
Wow.
And they were nice. They were really nice.
What happens if you ride there and then you win a bike?
But that's how bad the market is. They're
I
giving
think they
bikes
ship it
away.
to their local dealer or something. Yeah. But Dunlop was there. They gave away tires for life. You can get 2 sets of tires.
Really? Dang.
But I wasn't sure if it was for the life of your bike or it was for like your riding life. But even if it only lasts 5 years, that's 10 sets of tires.
It's better than a kick in the dick.
Yeah,
even if it's for the life of the bike, you're talking about a BMW rally, which means that you're still looking at 100,000 miles here.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I won Fritos for life.
Ooh. Did you really?
So I won Fritos for life in some paperboy competition I entered. And so in the paperboy competition, I won Fritos for life. And I was very sad to find out that Fritos for life meant that I got 4 cases of Fritos.
Okay.
And they just, one-time shot, you show up and they give you 4 cases of Fritos.
So what you're saying is you've lived
I still have 3 cases of Fritos.
Right. You've lived longer than Fritos expected you to live.
Well, also, yeah. Yeah. And that's just the way they do it. They anticipate, they're like, okay.
I want to know something.
We didn't tell you that it was at the rate of 1 bag per year and that this is, you should live another 48 years and here's your 4.
How do you know if Fritos are bad? Because they already smell like bad
Fritos.
feet. I know, that's what I'm saying.
Fritos.
Once you put the chili in the bag, what does it matter?
The only thing that Fritos are good for is walking tacos.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So outside of walking tacos, WC Frito, if you're that old, if you remember WC Frito, if you remember the little rubber eraser for the top of your pencil,
what about the Frito Bandito?
The Frito Bandito, exactly, right. These marketing things were, yes, I promise you, those marketing things, that was the best part of that fucking going to give you a heart attack corn chip. Because there was nothing else about it that was any good at all. And it's, again, I'm a kid who grew up on Funyuns and Coca-Cola. And that's why my teeth are broken. That's why my teeth don't work.
We used to have 3-liter bottles of cola.
Yeah.
The cheap generic
the
3-liter bottle.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. It is one of those things that and leaded gas put our country back about 25 fucking years.
Yeah.
That what we were eating and what we were breathing put us back about 25 fucking years. Yeah, they had to change the way they measured IQ after like 1979. Yeah, it just didn't work anymore because they were just like, wow, what the fuck happened? Yeah,
I'm glad nothing bad ever happened from all that stupidity.
No, nothing at all.
Paint chips.
I'm about ready to tear into these chips over here.
Yeah, there you go.
It is about that time.
It's about that time. So, anybody else got any hot tips? Anybody buy anything this weekend or this week?
I bought a chainsaw today for $10.
I saw that, a $10 chainsaw. It's adorable, too.
Yeah, mid-70s, top handle,
I never
Homelight
saw a
XL.
10-inch blade before.
It's a 14-inch.
Oh!
I make it look big when I...
You do make it look small.
Yeah,
you're giant fucking ham hocks. Yeah.
I wanted one of those little top handle. They're great for one-handed, like Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So yeah, I got it going.
It sounded great. It sounded
$10.
super happy.
It's, Total Evil Daddy's going to cut his hand off. And
yeah, I mean, fucking beautiful.
Piper's just shaking her head. I'm like trying to cut her car in half, and threatening her with it.
What'd you say, Pete? Did you get anything?
Well, I bought that Honda NX250 since last time.
yeah.
So yeah, I was really.
you
happy.
didn't see this?
That's fantastic.
Why didn't you ride it tonight?
Believe this or not, it needs a little carb work. I got it running on ether, but I got to pull the carb off and really go through it.
Right.
And the carb's kind of buried on that.
Yeah, they are.
But it's first year. They only sold that bike in the U.S. for 3 years, and it's the first year model year. And It's pretty complete. It's only got 6,000 miles. I got paper with it. I already got the paper in my name. Which was interesting because there was a mistake on the title. And I'm like, man, this is going to fuck me.
Was it the white one, the blue one, or the Miami Vice one?
It was a blue title. So
no, I meant the bike.
Oh, the bike was blue. I'm sorry.
It's the blue one. Yeah, blue and silver, blue and gray.
Yep. Like I said,
did you get a good title yet or no?
I did.
Nice.
I went in and got a good title. I was syrupy sweet to the ladies that were working there, and when I presented my ID, I put it down right over the mistake that was on the title.
Yes, good idea.
I already had a story lined up for if there was going to be a problem.
Is that Kickstart or electric?
It's electric.
It's electric.
Yeah, it does have electric, right?
Dude, it's called the Dominator.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
come
a big
on.
bonus for that because there's Kickstart's
It's called the Dominator.
It's a 6-speed too.
Nice.
Yeah.
That was a machine that was ahead of its time. It's like a mini adventure bike.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like dirt bike guys didn't want them because it wasn't like hardcore
And
enough.
kind of a legit 25 horsepower.
If you get sick of it, let me
35.
know. No way.
Yes. I believe it's 35 horsepower.
Whoa,
Yeah,
that is so much for such a little bike.
Exactly.
I'm so jealous.
Water cooled 250 6-speed.
Very much ahead of their
If
time.
it had fuel injection, it'd be perfect.
It would be. It would.
Is it a weird tire size, like 16 rear?
Yeah, it's
and a
16, 18?
I think it's 19 on the
Is it?
front,
Okay. Yeah.
But there's plenty. I already looked. There's plenty of tires available in those sizes. The tires were dated from
It is a 16, 19.
2010.
And drum brakes, so low maintenance, or is yours a disc in the front?
No, it's a disc in the
Here's
front.
the U.S. model 1988.
Yep.
That's a great bike.
I'm telling you, that was that golden era, 1988, 87, 88, 89 for Honda. They were like, let it rip.
That was like the Kawasaki Sherpa.
Yeah, I used to love the Sherpa.
Good bike, man.
Dude, you just bought the perfect Mid-Ohio bike, too.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that'd be a good bike. Down.
Perfect Mid-Ohio bike.
What you got, Dan?
So we're talking about people's bikes. Did I miss it? Did you say what you rode today?
I rode the Ewan McGregor bike.
Yeah.
I rode the Ewan McGregor BMW. So if you watch Long Way Home, the Ewan McGregor, Charlie Borman, the latest adventure of those two, Long Way Round, Long Way Down, Long Way Up, and now Long Way Home, in episode number 1, when they're in Ewan's garage in California, keep your eyes peeled in his motorcycle collection, because right behind the bike they're talking about is a black and yellow BMW R9T 40th anniversary GS, and that's my bike. So that's the bike I bought from him.
You have to get a screenshot of the show and then put it next to the bike.
Yeah. Well, we already got the Ewan McGregor stand up with the
hand down here petting
with
your
the hand
ass.
down low and open hole for a mouth.
Yeah.
So you can right. So that's it. But it's a good show. So if you like that idea of they're traveling around on vintage motorcycles, which is super fun and cool. They're doing it in adverse weather because they didn't plan well, and. Hey, let's go to the Arctic Circle. This sounds great. What could possibly go wrong?
Go north.
Let's just go super north. Let's just go to one of the dampest places in the fucking world in spring. Whoever thought it would be like weird and rainy in like May. Yeah, it's like, because that's what it does there. That's exactly it. I think I'm on the 3rd episode now or 4th episode, and I don't think I've seen these guys riding in direct sunlight yet. They have they've been puddle cutting for the entire time. And you're just like, yeah. And they are committed to it. They are plot committed to wearing the bell staff, to wearing the shoey 3/4, right? To wearing the leather gauntlets.
Peggy loves. She's like, I love engineer boots and his cuffed jeans.
Yeah.
I'm like, you want to buy me the whole outfit? I'll take a bell staff jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wearing.
Are those wax cotton bell staff jackets?
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Yes, that is. Yeah. Yes, sweetie. Isn't that sexy? Yeah. I'm wearing the Icon armored jeans, the dungarees that have the pockets for the 3DO stuff. And what I can tell you is when these cocksuckers get wet, They they have no R value whatsoever. Do not look at them for keeping you warm. And 2, they get very heavy and chafe like a cocksucker. They chafe. There's so much Kevlar in these fucking things that when they get wet, they take the skin right off your fucking gooch.
It's a wet sand.
Yeah, it is literally. Oh, they're so violent. And I own a lot of really good riding gear, but Cleveland has had either oppressively hot and humid or sideways rain for the past 2.5 weeks. And I have been really good. Like, I get the Dick Goddard Award. I have divined more fucking water than the old fucking men who come out. If I'm on a motorcycle, it's gonna fucking rain. That is it. If you see me riding my bike down past your house, don't water your plants, right? Cut your lawn now before it rains, because I have been caught in every fucking downpour for the past 2 weeks, past 3 weeks. It's been a guarantee. I don't know what it's like to have a motorcycle that doesn't have fucking dirty water, nasty fucking shit all over it. And it's fun because then I get home and my bike is all just soaking wet and fizzling and popping and all that garbage. I'm like, great. Smell you later. I know I'm not going to bother cleaning you up because tomorrow it's just going to do the same fucking thing. So, and it does. And I ride to work and it pours down on my way to work. I get to work. It gets up to about 99 degrees and about 1,000% humidity. So I just sweat all day, do 3 or 4 uniform changes throughout the course of the day.
I literally feel like I'm at home.
It's
100 degrees and 100% humidity. I'm like, this is exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it is. I have turned into my cat. I just become the thing that is just like, where's the air conditioning, right? Fuck you all. I'm just going to go find the air conditioning. I'm going to move all of my work to where the air conditioning is. And that's what I do. That's the whole thing now. I'm doing stuff at my house, in the house, because that's where the air conditioning is. I tried mowing the lawn in the house. It doesn't work. I do not get a pass on that one. But it's nice tonight was beautiful. Tonight riding out here was absolutely gorgeous. Nice, It finally felt like, okay, this is okay. But man, I can tell you every fucking outfit that I've had is hanging up in my fucking garage right now. Because it was just, I'm not going to bring all my soaking wet motorcycle gear into the house, because I'll just leave it hanging in the garage to dry, and I'll just rotate and have another go round. Today I wrote a perforated jacket because I'm feeling brave. I'm feeling cocky, and that's going to bite me in the ass because that cocksucker's heavy when it gets wet too. So yeah, it's been weird, but I love it. I try to commute every day on my motorcycle. I try to ride to work every day. And then when we're at work, we're also riding 25 different bikes, you know? So it's a good day for me when I ride a motorcycle that I enjoy to work. Then I ride 15 customers' bikes. And then I ride a motorcycle I enjoy home from work. That's a great day. I mean, it's a really, really good job. It's way better than running a punch press or doing like a job that people have to do for a living. It's a good thing.
So kids, if you're listening at home and you want to enjoy your job, motorcycles.
Be a fireman.
You be a fireman.
Motorcycle. Be a fireman.
Every fireman I know.
You get to burn shit. It's amazing.
Every fireman I know.
They make chili. They burn shit. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's okay. Turnout gear is not hot or oppressive. Bunker gear is totally okay. It's great to wear in 100-degree weather. It's cool. But you didn't just spray each other with hoses. You guys did that, right?
That's how they make the calendars.
When it gets super hot out, I've seen you guys. I'm sure of it.
You've seen the calendars.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the guys of the Lakewood Fire Department calendar. Yeah, it's just posing up with some AFFF or something. That's it. Right. We will see everybody at Mid-Ohio. If you haven't done it yet, please remember to ride fast and take chances and place out here, Johnny.
Bum, 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 bum,
Eject, 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 red button, get us out of here.